pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Here's the pitch, swung on, well hit ball center field. Robert going back on the run, and this one is gone into the bullpen. On in right center field or a patio area. Line shot to the right of the batter's eye. Julio Rodriguez, his 9th home run of the season.
Yeah, that got things going yesterday. 3-run shot in the first inning, but the White Sox would come back, and Mariners would need another home run from Cal, and then the big one from Leotis Taveras late in that one. But they go on to win 6-5, Brock. Not Logan Evans' best start, but he gave him a chance. The bullpen did its job. Vargas, Munoz, both filthy, and they leave Chicago with another series win.
Yeah, just a little bit unlucky in the one inning that Logan gave up those runs. I thought got squeezed a little bit on a Rojas at bat, had a kind of a weak little grounder up the middle. Dylan couldn't quite get to, and then the 3-run bomb was just a miss, but kind of regrouped and ate up those innings. And you know, if Logan Evans going to give you 6 innings, 4 runs,
give you a chance to win,
man, give you a chance to win each and every time out.
Yeah, pretty good.
Each game is a different scenario, and we've played well up until this point, and tomorrow presents a new challenge, and we'll be ready for it. It's a new club,
It is a new club. Houston, they're on to Houston, Brock, taking on the second-place Astros, who are 3.5 games back. And, yes, going to have a different starting pitcher on the mound tonight, one we haven't seen this year. That would be one George Kirby. Furious George, back on the mound tonight.
Excited.
Kind of excited about that.
I am, too. And I bet he is. I bet he's thrilled.
I would think so.
I don't think these guys love, kind of like quarterbacks, love watching somebody else do the job and do the job really well.
I think he's going to hit like 104 miles an hour tonight. Just super mad in Houston, just gunning it as hard as he can. Wouldn't surprise me.
Hey, by the way, if Mora is the sound hound, our buddy Luke or Arkins is the stat monger.
Yes.
Right? Like a fishmonger, he's just a stat monger. He's very dull, he's very boring, but man, is he a stat monger and a brilliant guy. And he wanted to let you know, Salky, that yes, Lyle does enjoy WRC Plus, and so does the brilliant Luke Arkins.
Yeah.
And the Mariners, second only to the Tigers, with players with 100 plus WRC Plus.
That doesn't feel like a very nice thing to say about Luke. He's
very
boring
guy. Very boring. Like you, Lyle.
He's one of the truly bad guys here in the Seattle sports market.
He's somebody that you absolutely want to pick on.
Really taking advantage and making all this money. Oh, wait, none of that.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Brock, you're going to get joint practices this year, but it won't be in Seattle, and it won't be with the Raiders or Chiefs. Brady Henderson reporting yesterday the team wanted to do it, but Pete didn't want to. Neither did Andy Reid. Yeah. So it's going to be week 3 in Green Bay. Not as cool.
Not quite as cool.
Not even close to as cool.
No, actually pretty cool for the players.
Well, I don't care about them. I care about me. I want Taylor here. What the heck? Where's Tay-Tay?
It's great for the fans. But for the players, you're going to have some joint practices. Those practices are just packed. It will be hot and humid more than likely in late August in Wisconsin as well. But, yeah, kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer that you don't get to do that with the Chiefs. And it's just old school Andy and just very persistent Pete. Not going to do it.
No hard knocks for the Seahawks either. The league and HBO, Brock. And this is a surprise here. I was blown away. They're going to go with the NFC East for their NC. Really? Yeah, it's shocking, too, because they never put anyone from the NFC East on TV. It's sort of the forgotten about division. So I, for one, am shocked that Philadelphia, New York, Washington, and Dallas will get a little extra airtime this year. And thank God they need it.
And then is it Buffalo in the preseason?
I don't know.
So it's the NFC East in season. I believe it is the Bills. That'll be fun.
It's good. No, it's good. We need to know more about what's going on in the NFC East.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Speaking of big names, the Kraken search for a coach is not turning up a lot of them. It started that way. We were talking about Rick Tocchet, Mike Sullivan, all these big names. Well, the latest report from Darren Drager is that the search is centered on Lane Lampert, Mitch Love, and David Quinn. Not quite the same caliber of huge name. Lambert, an assistant in Toronto. Maybe if you bring him in, he helps to lure Mitch Marner. I don't know. Mitch Love, an assistant in Washington. Quinn is in Pittsburgh, but was a head coach in both San Jose and with the Rangers. The Stars came back from 3-1 down last night with 5 straight goals. And Therese Halliburton, Brock, doing the Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
I was honestly surprised he knew what that was.
Yeah. Reggie there courtside as well, doing on the call. Yeah, those poor Knickerbockers. Never happened before, by the way. I think it was like 965 when you're ahead by 14 with 2.5 minutes to go in the playoff.
More gave the numbers. It was
1,200?
They said it's 1 and 1,434, and the Pacers are the one since 97.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty cool shot. And the fact that it went up 16 feet in the air and came back down. Pretty crazy. All right, that's everything you need to know. Also, the tush push is alive and well.
Very furious, very upset people.
A lot of people mad. And also
the Seahawks, by the way, changing their vote, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that I think is one of the little storylines.
They voted against it after Schneider
previously
and McDonald
voted for
told us that they
at
didn't
the
mind
combine,
it.
we're both like, we're going to go this way. And
so wait, they ended up voting to ban it?
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, they got strong-armed.
The whole NFC West, was all aligned in that way.
My dad, you know what? I'll tell the story later. My dad wanted me to call him yesterday. I got a text from my dad. He's like, "Call me when you get a chance.
Oh.
I have an idea on how they can deal with the tush push."
Oh.
It's like, that does sound very important. So I called him a little bit later. I'll give maybe at 8:15. I'll give you my dad's. It is the worst idea ever.
Oh,
he had a terrible idea. It wasn't even a little. Sometimes my dad has good ideas on these things. This one's not even close, but I'll try to. We don't have time for it now. We're going to talk to Harold Reynolds here in just a moment, so stick around for that. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
The release of the Seahawks schedule, you open at home with the Niners, you close the season on the road with the Niners.
You know what's interesting about that is just that where's San Francisco going to be? I'm just curious if they're going to be able to be that team that kind of has dominated. Those 2 games I think are going to be really interesting just to see where the Seahawks are. I think this year the tougher challenge might be the Rams.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
All right, starting to think about summer, and this August, luxury is going to be waiting for all of us at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience. Yes, go to snocasino.com. That is Seattle's closest, but it's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's opening up this summer, and it's going to be awesome. Those great views of the Cascades, expanded non-smoking gaming floor, a destination spa, huge 2,000-seat entertainment space, and convention center, and new restaurants as well. It all combines effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Yep, Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Classic Collector Car Truck and Boat Auction, Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Hundreds of cars, vintage, muscle, exotic, classics, trucks, boats, and more. Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Millions of dollars in inventory, many must sell with no reserve whatsoever. Get lucky, get local, and get in line for the Northwest's greatest collector car auction. Auction details at luckyoldcar.com.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even like our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here. I see people start out as a lot porter, and then people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, with the Mariners rolling along and winning yet another series, yet another rubber match yesterday, great to have Harold Reynolds with us right now, MLB Network, and, of course, longtime Mariner great. Good morning, Harold. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good morning. Sorry, I apologize. I'm driving. I'm going to pull over. I had to run an errand, and hopefully you can still hear me good.
What are you getting? Anything good?
You getting a card for your wife's 26th anniversary like I got this morning for $8 at the supermarket? How are cards $8?
Look at you, man. Look at you. No, I'm picking up. Actually, I had to go pick up kids' equipment. It's crazy. They get into sports, you think, I got all the connections, and then you end up having to go get them anyway. So,
yeah,
it's all good.
Can all relate to that one for sure. What do you think of these Mariners, Harold?
Tell you what, I'm surprised. I really am. Beginning of the year, I thought that's really what we were going to get. No offense, great pitching, but they've really turned it around. I got to give them credit. I mean, it's been fun to watch.
And I was watching you guys yesterday, Harold, talk about Cal Raleigh, who's obviously been the force behind so much of this. If there was a MVP vote in baseball, I think he'd have to be on just about anybody's top 5 ballot. No question about that. And you were also talking about, geez, maybe there's a time to give Cal a little bit of rest and pick your spots here and there because of everything that is required of him. What jumps out to you the most about what Cal is doing?
Well, obviously the power is the first thing everybody's going to look at, but the innings he's logging behind the plate, healthy, making all the calls, making all the plays long. That's why I was kind of leaning yesterday like, hey, he's going to have to get some time to just pick the right days off so he can be able to keep and sustain this the whole year. And I think having Dan Wilson really benefits him. You know, with Dan's been there, he's been through that grind of a season, what it takes to win a championship. And I'm sure Dan, as most players, probably fought for days off. Like, I don't want to be off. But he looked back and realized later it's probably the best thing. So I think they're going to have to pick days for Cal. You know, a day game where you get a travel day the next day and really gives him basically 2 days off. So that's what they're going to start doing.
You know, it's interesting, the guys that are such great hitters at that position over the years, and I guess I'm thinking about Joe Mauer, Buster Posey, Mike Piazza. I mean, you kind of go over it. Eventually, they almost become too valuable offensively to catch. Do you think that could happen to Cal at some point where we start seeing him play first base or DH significantly more often?
Yeah, that's going to happen. Just the bat allows you to do a lot of things with it. If he wasn't hitting, then that's a whole different dynamic. But all of them have done that, and I think that's the advantage of the DH. I would say, you know, it being in the American League, now it's in both leagues, but the designated hitter can be used that way. A lot of teams use it where they give guys a day off and it's still keeping that bat in the order. But Cal's athletic enough; he could play first base if need be. But I think that's down the road a little ways. I don't even think we're in that conversation yet.
Former Mariner great Harold Reynolds. Just looking at it, Harold, you and Danny never cross paths in the organization, but he's been so around it for many years, and obviously you have as well. Just kind of curious as you watch these games, as you kind of get more and more and more data points about what Dan is doing, kind of now leading the ship himself fully. What jumps out to you?
Well, number one, I think he's really built a new culture of inviting guys back. I mean, you see Jay Buhner around a lot more. You see the influence of Griffey's conversations, Edgar. I think that's a big part. I think, you know, we're in a time where analytics has really driven the game quite a bit. And with that, you end up taking out a lot of the players, and it goes more to AI and everything else. I think Dan's really recognized that, and he's opened the culture. I know spring training, the vibe was totally different. The players will tell you. I think he's been a little bit more inviting to the history of the club.
You must have played against Kevin Seitzer quite a bit, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, and
Kevin's actually one of my good friends.
Oh, cool. So, I mean, obviously a great player, and we loved getting to know him at spring training. I think he's going to join us tomorrow at this time at 7:30 tomorrow, and we're looking forward to talking to him again. When you watch this team, how much Kevin Seitzer do you see in the offense?
Oh, I see a lot. I see a lot of Kevin. I see a lot of Edgar. I think the main thing I see is putting the ball in play at all costs. And he was the guy that would shoot the ball the other way a lot. His approach was to right field, but it was really more line drives. And if you look at the Atlanta Braves teams, the last, 8 years he was there, high offense, they made contact, they're aggressive, they attack. And the biggest thing was they played every day. And, you know, that's a mindset that comes like, hey, you're teeing it up. And I know that was what Kevin grew up in. That's what most of us grew up in. And I think that's a teaching point. Like, you're not going to give up that spot. You might get a couple hits today. Or even Julio, you may not think you're hitting right now, but you're affecting everybody else in the lineup by the pitches they get. You know, so I think that's what Kevin brings to the table quite a bit.
Harold, these Mariners are a remarkable 7-1 in rubber matches in series this year, and why they've won, what has it been now, 9, 10, 11 of their last 12 series, and they've just been able to finish those off in those rubber matches. 11 of the last 13 series. Is there something to that, or will there just be kind of a aggressive regression to the mean that this is just kind of baseball, or do you see something that is leading to that level of accomplishment?
No, I think that's very wise. That's the one thing that Jerry gets overlooked. You know, he's got this great pitching staff. He's put together the club, but I think Jerry, more than anybody, understands you win series. Baseball's built in series, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, that type of stuff. And if you look at the Texas Rangers a couple of years ago, before they were on the map, I started saying, look out, man. They can beat you 2 out of 3. They got DeGrom. They got Evaldi. They got these guys that can beat you in the 2 out of 3 series. And that's how the game is built. And if the Mariners are going about this like we're talking about it, then, yeah, that's the philosophy. And that's how you win games. So, and you win series, and before you know it, you're in the playoffs. I definitely think that's part of their attack and their understanding.
When you watch a team like them, and they've gotten hot early, right, as you said, sort of surprisingly hot offensively, and then you start to wonder, okay, are we going to see them come crashing back down to earth, or is there a confidence that develops when a team has some early success? Based on your years, what can early success do for a baseball team?
Oh, it's huge. Over the 162 games, it kind of sets the trend for the rest of the summer. Nobody likes to get out the gate slow. Then you're fighting the whole way through the season. You can almost get out of the gate fast like they're doing right now and ride it. You don't want to get into a lull, but you turn the corner. There's a 5-game losing streak coming for everybody in 162 games. Look what the Dodgers are going through. You're gonna go through it. But if you already have that great out the gate mindset, you're winning games. You know how to win games. That sustains you when you go through that one bad stretch that's coming.
When Harold Reynolds does his job on a daily basis there at MLB Network with your partners and you walk through games and such, what are the first things that you kind of look at numbers-wise, Harold? If you go to a Mariners game and play in Houston tonight and the game ends or what have you, and you're not watching every pitch and every inning of it, and the game ends and you just kind of want to dig into what happened, where do you go?
I first go to see how many pitchers did they use, because that game is now over, and I'm thinking about tomorrow's game. That's how I look at one. If I go back and look at the game that was just played, obviously you're going to look at the scoreboard and see how things happen. But I always want to look at hits. How many hits did you get? How, and then you look at errors. How many mistakes you made? And a lot of times that doesn't even show up, particularly – as you guys know, you go watch your kids' games, right? And then you're talking to them, and you got to put things in perspective. And I think that's the best thing that happens as you get older. You're able to see things from a different lens and perspective-wise. Like, hold it, you hit 3 balls on the nose. I know you didn't get any hits, but you swung back great. And that's what builds to the next day. If you didn't, then we got work to do, So that perspective has always helped, and I think that's kind of how I look at the Major League game, too. I look at what the Orioles are doing right now. They're scuffling as a team, but they can't put together anything consistently or consecutively. You'll get one guy gets a hit in the 9 spot, and from 5 to 9 in the order, nobody's doing anything. So let's figure out how to get things going as a unit. And so that's kind of how I look at it.
I'm imagining you going to the box score every day looking for errors and being like, yet another day where no scorekeeper in all of baseball assigned an error, even though there could have been probably 12 of them assigned. What do you have to do to make an error in today's game? My God.
It is remarkable.
It's ridiculous.
I'm telling you.
It's egregious.
I look at this, and I see routine ground balls, and they go, hit. I'm like, what?
Hit? Seriously, how did this start? It is like the most bizarre, and I shouldn't even get that mad about it because who cares? But for whatever reason, like I see these things, I'm like, that's not an error? What do you have to do to make an error?
Did you say who cares?
Yeah.
Old-timers care.
I know.
Old-timers care. Harold cares. Those guys have played the game.
That's not nice.
Yeah, they care very much, right?
I just, it's mind-boggling. It really is to sit there and go, come on now. And I can't believe that the pitchers aren't complaining more.
Right.
Their ERAs are just like.
True.
I mean, I saw one game where I can't remember the pitcher's name off the top of my head right now, but he gave up 7 earned runs, and there must have been 2 balls. that could have been caught or ruled an error that would have probably gave him 1 Ernie instead of 7 or 8.
Dude, just on those lines, I asked you about Kevin Seitzer and if you had run into him. I didn't realize you guys were close friends. What about Perry Hill, who's been around forever? And legitimately, when this season started, I know we've talked about the surprise of the offense. I've actually been pretty surprised by especially their infield defense. I know they've got some different players than the original Polanco's, not playing the field, et cetera, but their infield defense was supposed to be a problem. It's been anything but, and that has been a hallmark of Perry Hill here in Seattle. How much do you know Perry?
I've come across Perry a lot through the years. Perry is the best of really what we're talking about, putting things in perspective. But his is about routine. You know, you go into your routine, you know what your plan is every day, and then you go execute. And then you talk to the official scorer and say, don't give no errors. No, I'm just kidding. No, but Perry he's really, really, he's probably the top 2 or 3 defensive guys of all time in baseball. I'm not just saying now. I'm saying of all time, with developing players, getting the most out of them. And if you look at the history of his teams, they always catch the ball.
Hey, last 2 quick things for me here. Do we got a Harold Reynolds Jr.? We got a ball player? We got a youngster doing some things? What do we got?
We got my middle, Ella, is a softball player. She's one of the top in the country at her age. She's a 27 grad, sophomore this year in high school. A lot of schools are calling already, and we'll know realistically this coming September when they can offer. So cool. She's pretty dynamic, power, speed, combinations. She plays outfield, shortstop. She's pretty special. And then Andrew, my youngest, he'll be a freshman next year in high school. He's trying to be Brock Hewitt. He's trying to be QB1, you know. So he's a quarterback. Trains with Matt Sims. You know Matt and Chris and Phil, the Sims family. So he trains with them. So he plays basketball and baseball in the spring. But I think he's going to be a quarterback. He's 6'1" already. He's 14 years old. He's going to be a pretty big kid.
Brock's laughing because his son's 14 and he's 6'6".
No, he's 15 now. He's 15.
Also, Brock, you know what I'm hearing as Harold tells that story? You know what you can maybe hit up Harold for?
Huh?
Phil Simms' new number, because we think Phil changed his number at some point. Now we haven't been able to get him on. And Phil's like one of my favorite players of all time and a tremendous guest.
Or maybe Phil's like, I've done enough for you, Jackals.
That's also possible.
Stop bothering me.
He's sick of me asking him about 1980s Giants players. So
no, just put Brock on. Brock's so persuasive, and everybody likes him, you know. So after a while, you're like, all right, let me call him back.
Yeah,
Does everyone like him? Really? No. I can't imagine. Can you imagine working with him for 16 years publicly and having everybody like him and hate you just because you don't agree with him on everything?
I feel for you.
Thank
I
you.
really do.
You know what? Finally, a guest who understands me. Yes. Thank you, Harold. And we appreciate you pulling over. We appreciate your time, as always. Great to have you on the air. We'll do it again.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Go him.
All right.
Get him.
There
Keep
you
going.
go. The legendary Harold
Bye-bye.
Reynolds, kind enough to take a few minutes with us there, Brock. See, finally, everyone always says, Brock, you understand this. Right. He finally understands my plight. It's so nice.
Whatever.
Oh, you're going to whatever me?
Hey, Ella, by the way, Ella, if you're listening, UW softball needs you. Needs you, Ella.
To be with DeBoer's kid, right? Because she's real good.
Yes, she
How about
is.
that? All right, some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
That's a good text. We'll come back to that one. That's an interesting conversation. Brock, question number 1. Brady Henderson doing his typical investigative work. Kind of a hound himself.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you learn from
Did you see
Brady?
this last night? It was kind of late last night. Did you end up seeing what he
did not? No.
What he tweeted? Okay,
No, I missed this.
Yeah,
I was too
Brady's
busy reading Lyle's subtweets of you.
Subtweets of me?
Yeah.
Oh,
See?
was he really?
You don't even know. Lyle's taking shots at you, and you don't even know because he didn't tag you.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Is that because Meredith is a star of the family? Is that
Maybe.
why?
Maybe.
Okay. Here's a little nugget for those interested in NFL contracts. This is the great Brady Henderson tweeting last night. Jalen Milroe's rookie deal with the Seahawks, Salk, has a slightly different structure than that of most third-round picks. In years 2 through 4, he has roster bonuses due early in training camp, worth $119,000, $290,000, and then the final year, and that's where I think it really matters, $460,000. So I was kind of curious as to why the 92nd pick didn't just get his deal done the same day that, I don't know, all the other guys kind of in that range got it done, and that's a quarterback trying to get a little bit of a win, and I think that's John Schneider and the organization giving the agent and the quarterback a little bit of a win. And basically what that does, it's not going to really matter first year, second year, third. He's going to be around here. But, let's just say, by the fourth year it's not going well, or even the third year not particularly going well, there's going to be a $500,000 kind of roster bonus there guaranteed to him early in training camp. And if the scenario is just not right player in, then maybe he gets cut early in camp and gives him a chance to go somewhere else.
So it's really more of
or it puts just a little bit of extra kind of guaranteed money right in your pocket there at the start of training camp as well.
I guess the only thing that's sort of a bummer there is it's more of a downside protection. I was hoping you were going to say like, oh, this is in case he gets great, and no, it sounds like it's really more downside protection
I think you
for
can
him.
kind of flip it that way as well.
Oh, okay,
and
good.
Say, hey, maybe in that fourth year, instead of giving me this $500,000 bonus, after 3 years,
work out a deal.
Let's put a new deal together.
Oh, I like that
so
better.
I don't really read
let's go
much
that
into
way.
the second or third year of it. I think it's a little more
Cool.
of that fourth year.
All right, question number 2. Sad news in the football community as Jim Irsay passed away yesterday, Brock. You played for the Colts. Who was Jim Irsay, the owner?
Yeah, man. He was, and you saw this outpouring from many former players yesterday, right? He just loved the guys. He was a power lifter back in the day. Did you see that going around virally yesterday, too? He used to squat. There was a video of him. I think it was 575 pounds. So he was a big power lifter when he was younger, and he inherited the franchise when his dad died, and he was just 37 years old. He was the sole owner of those Colts there in Indianapolis. Kind of had to learn on the way. He obviously had massive struggles with addiction. Even when I was there in the early 2000s, almost 25 years ago, you knew like there was some struggle, but he just was kind of like your struggling uncle in a family that you loved. And he just knew like, oh man, it's too bad Uncle Bill just can't get it right. And I want him on the straight and narrow. And he's just been fighting these demons and fighting these addictions. But when he's around, oh my gosh, you just love him. And he loves you. And he truly, genuinely loved the players. We got great Christmas gifts. That jumped out to me my first year there. Like, oh, this is amazing. Was this Peyton? No, Peyton took care of the lineman. This was Jim Irsay taking
care of the backup quarterback?
No, not going to take care of the backup
No, it
quarterback.
doesn't sound right.
The guy anyway. No, this is the owner taking care of everybody on the team and everybody in the organization. An unbelievably generous guy that was a little gregarious in his behavior. Obviously, as I said, struggled with addiction, and it cost him as he just passes way too early.
Yeah.
At 65 years of age. But one of those owners, as a player, you felt genuinely and truly cared about you and loved you.
Who is going to take over the team?
His sister.
Okay.
So, very clear that is going to stay 100% in the family. That's been also one that's not seen, I think, other monies and other hedge fund monies and other private equity. It has been just an Irsay-owned deal, and will stay in the family, it looks like, that way.
All right, question number 3. A lot of talk about these Olympics, right, and the flag football. Which Seahawks would you like to see?
I don't want any of them, right, because I don't want them to miss training camp, and that's not this summer, correct? That's going to be the Summer Olympics
28.
in 2026 or 2028.
I thought it was 28. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's 26. Devin Witherspoon being unbelievable. He'd be the best player, right? I mean, he could play safety, he could play nickel, he could play corner. He's got so much unbelievable foot speed. I'll tell you, if it was this summer, don't sleep on Cooper Kupp now. Like his feet, like your routes, they kind of joke around about players, Salk, that when they go from the 7-on-7 circuit back to their high school teams, they got to get rid of all that other junk, all these other moves. Travis Hunter is a wide receiver, basically a pro day doing stuff like, that doesn't work in the NFL. That works in flag football. That doesn't work in college football, high school football, NFL. But Cooper Kupp's feet, They'd be pretty special. And then Devin Witherspoon's obviously unbelievable quickness and coverage abilities and man abilities. He'd be a different thing.
All right, good stuff. That is today's Blue 88. So, yeah, I mentioned that I got this text.
Tweet me?
Well, I got that, and then I got this text from my dad. I was going to stick with football for a moment.
Okay.
We'll get to Lyle, I promise. My dad texted me yesterday at 3:30. Call me later. I had an idea about mitigating the tush-push in the NFL.
Okay.
So, of course,
sounds reasonable.
Right away, I FaceTime my dad, and he's there with my mom, who, for whatever reason, kept calling it the push-tush, which is also funny in its own way. But, all right, so my dad's idea, because he does not like the tush-push. He thinks it should be banned. He thinks it's dumb. He thinks it's an unfair advantage and that sooner or later every team will master it, and it will just be like an automatic few yards, which I disagree with, but all right, whatever. His idea, and as I said, I think this is a terrible idea, is, okay, you can do the tush-push, but if you score a touchdown on it, you only get 3 points. It's like, Dad, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. It's terrible, right?
I'm not in the business of making, fun of any talent's parents. I'm not in the business of doing that.
You can make fun of this. That's a bad idea.
That's not Larry's best.
Right?
I'm just going to say you can be better than that.
Bad idea. Bad idea, Jeans. That is just a bad idea. And then I was like, well, what would you do if it's not a touchdown? Like, what happens if you just get a first down? He's like, well, I've been thinking about that really hard. And like, maybe you only get 2 downs on the next set of downs. I was like, Dad, you are really overcomplicating this. Just either have it or don't have it. Why are you giving out random point totals and changing the entire rules of the game? He's like, I guess that's true. That does seem complicated. It's like, jeez, just keep it simple, man. So as I said, it was a bad idea, but I told him, I asked him to record a message like Lyle's parents do, but I don't think he has any idea how to do that. So unfortunately, he was like, I'm not doing that. You just tell him what I think. Okay, we'll tell him. Big Salk family week. Cecily's going to be in tomorrow. She's got her ranking. I think we're going to do it a little early. I think we're going to do it at 9 tomorrow. So for those fans of Cecily Salk, my younger daughter, she will be in tomorrow. She is going to rank her favorite hockey pump-up songs. Moore has diligently been rolling a few of them in and thankfully bleeping a lot of them out. So that'll be tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
It's going to take me a while.
I know, yeah. She gave a bunch of, she's a Salk. I mean, she gave you a lot of songs. It's a wide variety too, right?
Yeah.
Wide variety of songs, most of which need to be bleeped.
Do we have variety for Here's the Thing?
I think we do have a pretty good variety. We'll play them coming up next on Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
The release of the Seahawks schedule, you open at home with the Niners, you close the season on the road with the Niners. You know what's interesting about that is just that where's San Francisco going to be? I'm just curious if they're going to be able to be that team that kind of has dominated. You know, those 2 games I think are going to be really interesting just to see where the Seahawks are. I think this year the tougher challenge might be the Rams.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Local real estate agent seeking financing for a client. We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Warmer weather, more sunlight, and your new car. That's right. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, summer starts here. With their combined inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned inventory, you're in for a summer to remember. Their fantastic teams will set you up with a test drive so you can ride off into that summer sun the same day. Summer starts here at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit their incredible showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom. and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
It's time to make your yard the best on the block with Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot. Start by keeping the weeds at bay with Earthgrow mulch, now 4 for $10. Then keep your garden thriving with Miracle Grow garden soil, now on special buy, 4 for $10. Give your neighbors yard envy all summer long with Memorial Day savings going on now at the Home Depot.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewart is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to see you in a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
Hello!
Tell you what, I got a text here from the 509 that might actually be the best thing I've heard on the Tush Push. This might be the best idea I've seen anywhere, much better than my dad's lousy idea. This is actually a pretty good idea. We'll come back to this. Maybe I'll do it right now.
We have a lot of longer here's the things.
All right, so I'll get to it.
By the way, people, if you can keep it to a minute or less.
Yeah,
I had to edit a couple of them down today because they were like 2 minutes.
All right, so we'll do Here's the Thing,
Thank
but I
you for
will
that.
come back to this because this is a good idea in the Tush Push. Right now, though, you guys have been leaving us messages through the app, the Seattle Sports app. Let's hear what we got.
Brock Ewart doesn't just hate one kid.
I am so disappointed in Michael Salk.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're mindless. Love you, bye.
It's time for Brock and Salk's Here's the Thing.
Okay, here's the thing.
All right, we'll jump right into them today since the Moore said we got some long ones. We'll start with Jared.
Here's the thing.
we need more food and recipe talk on this show because I have been making that miso lime broccoli recipe that Salk brought to our attention a while ago, and it is so good. And also the JoJo's where you quarter the potatoes and put some onion soup mix on them. That's a brock recipe. That's also delicious. So I need more of your guys' recipes because so far you're 2 for 2. So give us some more of those.
It's funny that came out today because yesterday I was tweeting about how Heather suggested we had some shrimp, and she's like, "Oh, well, let me look around." She's like, "How does this sound? Shrimp with eggplant, fish sauce, and mint." And I was like, "I gotta tell you, Heather, that sounds awful. None of those ingredients sound like they should go together at all." So we ended up doing some sort of a scampi with orzo that was good, but
okay.
Doesn't that sound awful?
Because we're nearing salmon season, and if you have an air fryer, this is an Uncle Damon handed down to Brock, and it is absolutely phenomenal. If you like salmon, we're starting to get it fresh, right, in the Pacific Northwest, amazing. You slice it pretty thin, Saul. I'm not talking like salmon steaks, but you take a fillet and you slice it so, I don't know, it's about 2 inches thick, all right? And then you put just a little bit of olive oil on all of it, and then the Tom Douglas salmon rub is unbelievable.
It's very good.
Preheat the air fryer to 375, just preheat it, and then you put it in for about 8 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes,
sounds very
depending
simple.
on the thickness. Oh, it is so simple. And once you have it, you'll be like, that's the best salmon I've ever eaten.
All right, I'm going to try that. I might try that tomorrow. I'm into that idea. All right, let me keep going here. I got Zane.
Here I was last Saturday at the University of Montana watching my niece graduate. But come to find out, old buzzkill Brock Heward was in attendance at the very same event. How I didn't see him or hear him, I will never know. But I'm glad we decided not to go to the farmer's market and witness him rubbing beef tallow cream on his giant face, because that I would never unsee. Anyhow, I lived in Seattle 25 years before my wife and I escaped the rat race to move here to Montana in 2017. Not long after that, everyone else decided to do that too. So infringements on my territory somewhat make me nervous. And lately, I've been hearing Brock say the name Kalispell a lot. But being that I'm a good person, I am a Montanan, salt-of-the-earth type. I offer Brock and his family my services. Any kind of favor. So to use a Pulp Fiction reference, I am like the Mr. Wolf of Kalispell. That's in terms of getting things done, not necessarily covering up crime. So, Brock, you need any favors, legal favors, help with vendors, recommendation, you need boots on the ground, extra elk meat at the ceremony, you need me to remove a drunken Mike Salk from your wedding. I am literally here for you, buddy, as long as you promise not to move here.
You've not been to Kalispell, right, Saul?
I have, yeah.
You've been to Kalispell?
Yeah, well, I flew into Kalispell in order to go to Whitefish. On your recommendation.
Yes, that's right.
It was great. Beautiful.
Beautiful, right?
Really, yeah, really liked it.
So fun.
Here we go. Let's keep this up.
Hey, Salk, I love your show, you and Brock, but man, that sweater's brutal. Charlie Brown, baby. Charlie Brown.
Dude.
Still not over your sweater from last week.
I will say, that sweater looks better in person than it does on camera, I think.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Thank you.
It's kind of obnoxious on camera.
Whatever.
Here's the thing.
This is Mark.
Look, I get Lyle is super edgy. He was raised on SpongeBob SquarePants, so that makes him James Dean. Another reference he's not going to get. And I honestly don't care the things he knows about pop culture. I listen to him for the baseball takes. But for the love of God, can someone tell him that is not a rebuttal? I'm going to tell you, I tell my 4-year-old, use your words.
I feel like I picked that up from you a little bit.
Yep. Uh-huh.
I feel like you do that.
I do it better than you, though.
Well, sometimes
Is that who you want to emulate?
When I
Lyle?
do it, it works, though.
I mean, sometimes you just don't want to drag out a segment because you don't want to argue, but you don't want to concede either.
Oh.
Do you know that our sister station, Burns and Gambo, plays a Salkism?
Which one?
Quite often on their show.
No. They play that?
Oh, yeah. They got it in their system. They call you the cat,
really?
Salky Cat.
Oh,
yeah.
I should play some Campo sound of some of my conversations with him. Here's Brad.
Here's the thing. Tomorrow I have an outpatient medical procedure. It's my first procedure where they're going to cut into my body, and I'm nervous. So, yeah, it'll already be done by here's the thing, but some words of encouragement for my recovery would be great. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to jinx anything.
Because he just sounds so creepy even talking about this.
Love you guys. Bye.
Brad, I wish you the best, man. As you're listening right now, I hope you're recovering. Whether it was gallbladder, whether it was knee, whether it was a vasectomy.
That's sort of what it sounded like.
Sound like a vasectomy?
Yes.
No, I think if it was a vasectomy, he would have said
Like
it.
proudly?
Yes.
God, that guy's creepy. He
You had a
creeps me
vasectomy,
out.
right, Saul?
Of course.
Did you go under? Did they do any
Anesthesia? I wish. I wish I'd been fully under.
Do you know that
it was
I
awful.
asked my doctor, and I was like, have you ever, like on Natural, women have to do in labor?
You couldn't do that.
He said one guy.
Oh, come on. No way.
He was on the lam. He did not want any records of anything. One guy.
He was on the
early in
lam.
his career.
Yeah,
that was
no.
it.
Hold on. We got to see if we can get to a few more of these. Here's Jared.
Here's the thing, All-Star Edition.
Oh.
First up, Manny from Maui. Good vibes all around. Great sense of humor. This is the kind of guy you want to rally around and have in your locker room. Second, Brent. Elite upside. A Brent highlight reel is probably the most impressive thing you've ever listened to. However, he doesn't show up every week and lacks finish in some spots. Next up, third, Brad. Started off good with some strong entries, but trailed off in his senior years into being creepy and weird. But he has redeemed himself recently.
How?
Let's see what Brad has to say about this. And last up, of course, we can't forget Denny, or I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact name, but the guy, he is elite at impressions and accents. He recently did a Ryan Roland -Smith impression, and it was elite. He is a dark horse in this race for sure.
It was elite. Hard to understand, but very elite. Come on. We have one from Danny coming up in a moment. So let me, I got to get to one other and then I got Dan. These are long. Here's CC.
Here's the thing. When were you clowns going to tell us that you guys wrote a book together? Well, anyways, saw it in the bookstore, had to buy it. Here's my review. In a bold departure from play-action analysis and Pacific Northwest sports tanks, Brock Heward and Mike Salk have teamed up to bring us Kama Sutra, the Brock and Salk Playbook for Love, a sensual guidebook no one asked for and everyone should be slightly concerned about. The book opens with a foreword by Brock, declaring that real intimacy starts with hard coiling, mentally, emotionally, and yes, physically. We're not sure what that means, and frankly, neither does he. Chapters include zone reads and erogenous zones, and the deeply unsettling leveraging your stem, a deep dive. It's unclear if stem is metaphorical, botanical, or just misunderstood anatomy. The concept of pelvic power is repeated frequently, usually in bold, occasionally in all caps, and always followed by an inexplicable quote from Pete Carroll. Here's my final verdict. Less of a romantic manual, more of a TED Talk delivered during a midlife crisis in a motel bathtub.
Okay. Meanwhile, it sounds like I had nothing to do with this book, which is good. This is all Brock.
I think I might have cut. It was 2 minutes long. I
Yeah.
might have accidentally cut. The chapters were supposed to be you.
Oh, all right. Well, I cut that off too because I didn't have enough time. Because I did want to get to Danny, the #1 All-Star. He'll finish this up.
Here's the thing. So I listen to a bunch of different types of podcasts. Insert Brock humble brag here. Not just sports stuff. But it got me thinking, if the Brock and Salk show wasn't all about Seattle sports, what other kind of genres would the podcast be? This is my interpretation of the Brock and Salk show if it sounded like a true crime podcast. Unstudied criminality in journalism at the University of Boston, while the other worked as a psychic detective for the SPD. Join our hosts, Michael Marie Salk and Dr. Brock Heward, every week as they examine new evidence in cases gone cold for over 10 years. A special thanks to our Patreon users, and thank you, the listener, for downloading this week's episode of You Only Get Murdered Once.
All right, Danny's great, but that's not his best work. I need more from Danny.
I like it.
I need more.
At the beginning, I realized I forgot what Danny's real voice sounds like.
Right.
At this point. I don't know if we really know.
Patreon, huh? What if we? I wonder. You know what? I'm gonna let it go. I got too many jokes about former radio hosts who are now on Patreon. I'm just gonna let it all go. Brock, let's come back with everything you need to know. We're super late, and then our friend Bryan Walters is going to join us at 8:30. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing time.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Introducing frequent flights between Boeing Field and a private terminal at Portland Airport. Seaport Airlines is transforming travel with convenience, comfort, and free parking just steps from your plane. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software, upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
John Curley here. Smart homeowners are upgrading heat pumps and air conditioners now before the summer heat wave with incredible rebates and discounts that'll save you up to $6,000. Home Comfort Alliance makes paying easy with 18 months, same as cash financing. Call Home Comfort Alliance today for a free quote and save up to $6,000. For your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, we went super late. I got to be quick here, Brock. But in the battle of big things versus little things, the Mariners have been doing a lot of both. Yesterday was the big things. It was the home runs that really got it done. You got an early 3-run shot from Julio. Cal got his, of course. But the big one, the one in the 8th inning when you were down a run, yeah, that came from a little bit more of an unlikely source.
Here's Leody Taveras. Corners are close. Let's see what Dan has in mind. Swinging a fly ball. Deep into the gap in right center field. Palacios going back, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Leody Taveras with a 2-run home run into the lower deck in right center field.
Yeah, you had that one on your bingo card, right, yesterday? Rick thought Dan was going to bunt.
Yeah. Let's see what Danny's got in mind.
Is he going to bunt? No, he's going to hit a home run.
How about a bomb?
Unbelievable.
Leaning on the long ball a little bit. Ball was carrying today. Both clubs with several homers. But our guys doing a really good job of getting on ahead of it and giving us a big lift. Obviously, Julio to start the game, give us a little bit of cushion. And offensively late, Cal's homer, and then obviously Leo's was enormous getting that 2-run homer.
We'll talk a little bit more about Julio coming up at 9:30. But, yeah, nice win for the Mariners. They win another series. They'll go to Houston now for a 4-gamer against the second-place Astros. And, yes, George Kirby, Furious George, back on the hill tonight.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Brock, you got my hopes up. I'm kind of upset about this. You really got my hopes up on the whole, maybe the Chiefs will come here for joint practices.
I've screwed up 3 things. Number one, I screwed that up.
Yeah.
Thinking that Andy, old school Andy, would do some joint practices. Instead, old school Andy's not bringing his Chiefs and the whole band with him. Screwed that up. Then I was sentelled yesterday, which was just totally embarrassed.
It was.
Embarrassing, just sentelled. And then lastly, by the way, that tush push was a lot closer. I had it flipped around. They only needed 2 more votes.
Yeah.
Because all of the NFC West, including our Seattle Seahawks, kind of flipped sides, and Rodgers only 2 votes away.
I hope he gives up. Things seem stupid. So there's one guy had texted in, see if I can find it, from the 509. And I think it's kind of a good idea. He says the tush push is a reaction play. So to run a tush push, you should have to report it to an official, like an onside kick. Yes. And then you hike it on the referee's whistle. That way it's a full reactionary play for both sides, and the offensive line doesn't get a slight advantage. I actually think that's not a bad idea. Like, okay, if you want to run it, you can, but you've got to call it. And then you
got to declare it.
You got to declare it.
I love declaration.
You know what? I think I'd be okay with that. I think I think that's kind of that's better than my dad's solution. I'll tell you that.
Oh, by a hundo.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
You think the Kraken are ever going to hire a coach? It sounds like they're progressing a little bit. Darren Drager has some names. Lane Lambert, Mitch Love, David Quinn are the three. It's not exactly Rick Tocchet, Mike Sullivan, and David Carl. Like, these are a little bit more in the no-name variety. Now, it doesn't mean they're bad.
Let's hope this was like the USC Pete Carroll. He wasn't their first or their second or their third or their fourth choice.
Could be.
But he came in and was a total game-changing difference.
He's a little bit more of a bigger name, I think, than any of these. But, we'll see. Last night, the Stars got down 3-1 and then scored 5 straight goals to win. And in the NBA, how about Tyrese Halliburton, Brock? Unbelievable ending to that game.
Big shot. How about we were watching a little bit of that Stars?
Yeah.
Ottinger 6'6", 225.
Yeah.
Man, that's a big goal.
Those goalies are pretty big these days.
Yeah.
That's not like that unusual.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they take up a lot of the net. You know what I mean?
Yes, they do. Yep.
All right, that's everything you need to know.
I still dream of a 900-pound blob.
I know you do.
In there, covering every surface area of a net.
Yeah.
I think it would be a possibility.
I think it might not count as respecting the game. That's just me. Do you happen to catch any of that story at the end of the Stars Winnipeg series? Did you see what happened with what's his name? Scheifele's dad had passed away the night before Game 7, and then
we were watching that live.
Yeah,
actually, Dylan was in town. He never watched the hockey game, and we were watching that live, and I just started, crying.
Really sad. Did you happen to? There's a reel running around or some video running around of the handshake line and the coach for Dallas shaking everybody's hand. Did you see any of that?
Oh, that's what I was. We were watching.
It's all mic'd
up
when you can hear them.
Oh no!
Oh, it's all mic'd up. You can hear him, and he grabs him. And is like, "Hey, your dad would have been so proud of you today." Yeah. But then it even is just cool going out. Like he walks all the way through the whole line, and you hear all the Winnipeg guys being like, "Hey, go win the cup!" Like great, like they're just the love and respect they have after that intense a fight is so incredible. It really is impressive. Yeah. So cool.
And for folks that don't know, that player played after his dad had passed away that morning.
Yeah.
And he decides to play. I believe that was Game 6 of that series. And that was the epitome of the sportsmanship and class that you find in hockey, unlike any other sport.
It really is amazing. Yeah, there is just something about the culture of that game that is very unique and very cool. All right. You weren't here, right? Because that's why Bryan Walters was in. Yeah. You were out, so Bryan came in, former Seahawks receiver, works on the...
I don't know, Wally Pipp, I don't know.
He was really good, man. He really was. We've had a lot of fill-ins over the years. He was one of the best we've ever had. I loved working with him. He had a lot to say about Russell Wilson and the Super Bowl and the Seahawks and wide receivers and baseball. Like, he's got kind of a well-rounded dude. So we're going to chat with him next. I think it's going to be on video as well. If you want to watch on YouTube, you can see the excitement build for Bryan Walters next on Brock and Salk.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
The Olympics used to be a huge deal. I think it still is. I was listening to Ryan Roland-Smith talking about playing for your country. I think that's a big deal in almost any sport except for the NFL.
I don't want any of my starters out there.
Why risk anyone over a fake game of football?
Yeah.
That's what the players who don't make it are for.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we are getting closer anyway to summer. You still have enough time if you want to lose the weight so that when you go to the beach and the barbecues, golf, vacation, etc., you take those pictures, you can look and feel your very best. Start by going to Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. They can help. You can do it super fast. I lost 15 pounds in the first 2 weeks, ended up losing, 35 pounds in about 8 weeks. There is time, so what are you waiting for? Schedule that 15-minute no-obligation consultation right now at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. And then you'll get safe, healthy, sustainable weight loss with no pills, no injections, no surgery, real food that you buy at the grocery store. You'll lose weight and look and feel your very best. The secret? Well, you got to find out in a 15-minute call with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Schedule your quick intro today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All rooter and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Classic Collector Car Truck and Boat Auction, Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Hundreds of cars, vintage, muscle, exotic, classics, trucks, boats, and more. Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Millions of dollars in inventory, many must sell with no reserve whatsoever. Get lucky, get local, and get in line for the Northwest's greatest collector car auction. Auction details at luckyoldcar.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Heading to the ball game? Don't mess with traffic and pricey parking fees. Make it easy and ride the bus. It's affordable and convenient. No stress, no hassle, and plenty of time to grab a hot dog before first pitch. Community Transit makes riding the bus fun, easy, and affordable. You save money on parking, and kids under 18 ride for free. See where they can take you and plan your trip today. Go to Community Transit at ctgo.org/home run.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafy and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
Warmer weather, more sunlight, and your new car. That's right. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, summer starts here. With their combined inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned inventory, you're in for a summer to remember. Their fantastic teams will set you up with a test drive so you can ride off into that summer sun the same day. Summer starts here at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit their incredible showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Looking forward to this. Bryan Walters, who's come in and filled in for Brock, former Seahawks wide receiver and local guy, is joining us right now, and we've got him on video. Oh, look at that. He's on video for those watching on YouTube, etc. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm always shocked when these work. Somehow I always think that something's not going to work. I'm going to be lagging in. I can't sign on. I'm going to be late, but it works.
And look at that.
Again,
Is that your old helmet behind you there?
I got a few helmets back here. Which one are you looking at?
I can only see
don't
the
know what you can
Seahawks
see.
one. What else? What else do you have there?
Yeah, that's the Seahawk helmet. I don't know what team this was. This was the Super Bowl we lost, so I don't know. That shouldn't be on display. Yeah, I think there's a high school helmet back here. I didn't wear it, but somehow we have cleaners like once a month, and they always mix everything up, and things are just in random spots. So
They move
that's
your
that.
helmets?
Yeah, I think so. They take them off in dust and just don't remember where they're at, and I don't know.
You think maybe they have like their own idea as to where the helmets should be? Like, yeah, this guy's putting his helmet here. It really belongs on a different shelf.
Sometimes they're facing backwards, and I just kind of I don't know if they understand football.
That's a good sign, actually. My wife gets frustrated sometimes with our cleaners. If they don't dust, it's a pretty obvious tell. Like you actually do kind of want them to move stuff around.
It must be nice to have that kind of cash. I didn't play in the NFL. I don't know what any of that is like. Cleaners.
Take care of your wife, Salk.
My girlfriend takes care of it, so
okay.
it's not me. If that makes you feel any better.
All right. Yes. No. Much better. Let's talk some sports. Let's talk some football. We'll start there. Although I do want to ask you some baseball questions because I know you're a big baseball guy. But I'll start obvious stuff since you were a wide receiver. We'll look at kind of the changes made in the wide receiver room. What do you think of the moves that they've made and kind of the new look wide receiver room here in Seattle?
Yeah, I've said this a lot to people that if you were to take last season, you have Geno and you have DK Metcalf, and you were to say, hey, both of them aren't back next year, you'd be a little bit worried. You'd be like, what happened? Like, what went wrong? But then you look at kind of what Schneider did and how he filled the gaps. And I've been very vocal about kind of my thoughts on DK as a wide receiver. And, maybe I'll be a little nice, I guess, but a little slightly overrated. I think he's going to do well in Pittsburgh. But at the same time, I just think that they really revamped this wide receiver room to fit that Kubiak scheme. And a lot of guys that are just better route runners. And guys that just kind of complement each other. I think JSN and Cooper Cover would be so fun to watch together.
Why?
Because how do you cover both of them? Like that's the thing. They're such technicians and they're so smart. Like with what they do, how to find it. That was one of the things last year about JSN that really excited me. Is he really came on being like he could do multiple things. Like if it was a zone, he was finding the open spot. And for some reason. And Brock, you as a quarterback are probably most frustrated about this. For some reason, for receivers, that's hard to do. Like, I don't know why, but just finding the open gap in a spot can be a difficult task for some receivers. So when you have a guy that can kind of read zone right off the ball and find that little sweet spot, that little, even if it's a little spot route, Brock, like you seen, a little 5-yard spot route right in the gap, don't cover yourself up. Don't go to that linebacker and cover yourself up when you have a zone beater route. Like, find the gap and move in the gap. And JSN showed he could do that. He showed he can win on man-to-man. Some of his corner routes he used last year, setting the safeties up, setting the nickels up when he was in the slot, and just not giving away his route. That's an easy thing for a receiver to do as well, is lean toward your route and do things that kind of tip off the route. JSN did none of that. And then just his ability to make clutch plays as well. So that's like another aspect that you saw last year from JSN. I'm excited about that. With Cooper Kupp, who already has done that all, who's already proved he can do all that. And as long as he can stay healthy, those two are going to be really, really fun. And then I think they addressed the speed need that you lost with DK. I will give DK, he is, one of the most physically talented and fastest receivers in the NFL. You will miss that, but you got a guy that can take the top off of defense with Marcus Valdez-Scantling. And, it's not going to be the same threat, but you have that threat. And I think that's important, especially for this offense. This offense isn't going to throw 40, 50 times a game. So you don't have to worry about that.
Bryan Walters here with us. He's one of the hosts of the Seahawks pre- and post-game radio, so you hear him every weekend. Bryan, two things. I think what you were talking about earlier, like we don't talk about receivers and their ability to process. I think it's the same thing as a quarterback. Those receivers like Bobby Ingram that could process the game like a quarterback, right? I think that's what you're talking about, and that's where Cooper and JSN, I think, do both flourish. My question is, do you think they can play split end and flanker? If this is going to be a heavy 12 team and a heavy, obviously outside zone team and the play action off of it, do you think those guys can play out on the perimeter?
Yes, I really do. I think That's again another like topic as a receiver that I don't like putting receivers in certain bubbles. Like this is only a slot receiver. This is only outside receiver. Yes, it's true. I think people some are better in the slot, some are better on the outside. But essentially, as a receiver, you're lining up and you're going one-on-one against that corner. Like it's not a huge difference to me. I didn't really care if I was on the outside against a corner out there versus in the inside. I'm running a crossing route where you can run a crossing route from the outside, and sometimes yes, they are going to be fine out there. They are now veteran receivers. Now it'll just add to their tool set, and the way Kubiak will use them. They'll be motioning from the outside a lot. They'll be coming in. They'll be blocking a lot probably. But yeah, I don't see that being a huge issue for these guys because Cooper Kupp especially, if they're pressed out there, he's shown he can get off press. He's done that for his whole entire career. People can't press him. He's gotten wide open. So I think all it takes is them to prove it right away. One or two times that you can beat the cornerback off the ball. They're not gonna challenge you like that anymore.
It's funny you said people would be curious what had led to Geno and DK not being here anymore. I, as you might imagine, was pretty excited about it. I was not wild about the idea of bringing either of those guys back. So the fact that they moved on from both within a week, I thought was a really positive sign for the Seahawks moving forward. What do you make of the new quarterback room? It's not quite as settled, although obviously there's a clear starter. What do you make of the move from Geno to not just Sam Darnold, but also bringing Drew Lock back and Jalen Hurts, et cetera, or Jalen Milroe, et cetera? I do it too often. Two Jalen's, Alabama. I mean, it's not like the worst mistake
that's the important
ever.
part.
Like, geez.
No, it's not. No, it's fine.
I've always been a Geno fan. I've always been on the Geno bandwagon. I really do like how Geno plays the game. I think that he gets a lot of bad rap for some of the interceptions he threw last year. I went through every single one of them, all 15 I think he had, and it came out with the schemes and everything that I had about 7 of them his fault. And that was lenient given that. But on that note. I thought they made the most of this situation in the best way possible, being able to get a quarterback that's 8 years younger, 7 years younger than Geno Smith, which one is a huge thing. I think Sam Darnold still has a chip on his shoulder, a lot to prove, to prove that he's not just like a one season guy. It's one season he's had that's been great, and now he's still got to prove it a little bit, and I think that's a good attitude to have as a quarterback. For him, if he's coming in with a little chip on his shoulder, like this wasn't a fluke season, and let me prove it. Jalen Milroe, to me, I know that's kind of been the talk for everyone. I think he's still got a ton to learn. We saw him at Alabama. We saw him. I think he's got all the tools. He's got a cannon of an arm, great arm. But it's about where you use that arm and where you throw the ball and what kind of reads you're making. And I think that process is gonna really develop for him over these last years. You hear he's using I don't know if you've ever done this, Brock, as a quarterback. Maybe not, but I didn't. Was AI or virtual reality. Sorry, he's using that headset.
You think they had that when Brock was a quarterback?
I know, that's why I kind of stopped.
They barely had the internet when Brock was a quarterback. What are you talking about?
I know. I stopped myself there, but I couldn't. I went too far. Sorry, Brock. I didn't mean to give you that. They didn't have it when I was there either, so that makes you feel any better. And that was like 7 years ago.
And it wouldn't have fit my eyes anyway, bro. That'd been like really difficult to find the VR to fit this face.
They were using hieroglyphics, I think, on like a stone tablet.
Have you ever put one on and seen what they're looking at?
I have. I've not done it with the quarterback. I did it actually for a home builder and a designer, and it was like I got dizzy. It was like, whoa, this is creeping me out. I can't really do it. But yeah, I think there are some guys. Obviously, Jaden Daniels did it. I think Andrew Luck at Stanford is where some of that started. I'm a little iffy on it because I think if it was that good, I think everybody would do it. That's one of my little question marks. Everybody's looking for an edge, but whatever works, right? For whatever individual, and if it works for Jaden Daniels, could it work for Jalen? Absolutely.
And the thing I like about it is, if guys are having trouble making the right reads or really noticing defenses, I like the fact that you can speed it up. I like the fact that you can throw it in, 15 times game speed. And so now you're seeing safeties just fly into their spots, corners doing something. And it's probably chaotic in the headset, I can imagine. But then when you bring it back, you bring it back to game speed, I think things would slow down. And this is total assumption. I've never done it. Like, I'm not a quarterback. I've never done it. But that's just how things kind of work, right? Like, if you want to learn to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, crank the machine up to 100, 105, and that 90-mile-an-hour fastball is going to be a little slower to you. Seem a little slower, essentially, right? But that's kind of what I like. And I think with all the resources that he will have, I think he's going to develop into a really fun player to watch. But right now it's the Darnold show. Right now we're rooting on for Sam Darnold, and I hope he just continues where he was with the Vikings. It'll be, I know Justin Jefferson's quite a, one of the top 2 receiver in the league, and he's probably, I don't think we have a guy quite like that on the Seahawks. So we'll see how he kind of makes up for that. But the way that John Snyder maneuvered the room, maneuvered this receiver room with the cap and all these question marks going in, I'm fired up where we are going into this season. And most importantly, I think it's the offensive line that really matters for all this.
Oh, so you think it's significantly improved?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I'm still on the I still think all these guys, all the offensive line, they were having trouble. They were put in such bad spots last season. That's where I'm going. One, you had different combinations in almost every game. You had Abe Lucas hurt half the season. You asked them to essentially block one-on-one matchups, in empty sets and all that stuff 30 times a game or whatever it was. And I've said this so many times, when you go to a practice and you watch offensive line and defensive line one-on-ones, the defensive line wins most of those one-on-ones. It's a really tough spot to be in for an offensive line when you're just, hey, mano-y-mano, block me, or I'm going to try to block you. I'm going to try to get to the quarterback. Like, that's a tough spot. And I think that was a lot of what happened last year is these guys were just put into terrible situations. I go back to an interception that Geno threw. Gosh, who was it against? It was like late in the game, and he threw a big out route to DK. He wasn't even out of his break yet, but it was because Olu got beat off the line of scrimmage right away. But he was just singled up on an island, one-on-one. And a guy gave a little spin move, and he's in Geno's face, and Geno has to get rid of it. And it's things like that I don't think you're going to see. I think you're going to see better schemes, better help for the quarterbacks, and stuff like that. So just I think they're talented, and I like the draft class that they got, obviously with Gray. And some of these later offensive linemen are going to be intriguing as well. Like a guy like Mason Richmond. I don't know if we've talked about him a lot, but you look at Iowa and what Iowa does as far as the big guys. This guy started more games under Kirk Ferentz than any other lineman in Iowa history. That's like since Ferentz has been a coach there. And I think that's since 95, 6,
basically
something
forever.
like that.
Yeah, it's basically in history.
It's been forever.
Yeah.
And that's showing something of like the quality offensive line that you have there. And you got him in the 7th round, but obviously a lot to prove still.
Look at Salk's mind spinning. Salk, I just know him
Love
so
this.
well. Walter, 16 years. Can you imagine 16 years with somebody? I know exactly what he's thinking. The minute you said, well, he didn't put him in position for success, he's like, well, did the previous guy? I've heard these stories for 10 years. Like, I look at you laughing. I know exactly the thought bubbles that are popping out of your dome right now. So come on,
impressive.
man. Really,
Chemistry.
Brian? Really? Like, this is now all of a sudden going to be that much different, and they're going to put him in that much of a better spot than any of the guys did the last 10 years, huh? Is that what you're really selling us?
I'm selling it. They're going to run the ball. They're going to do play action. They're not going to just sit back and put stress on the offensive line. Like that's what it is. I mean,
Can it be both?
You have to. A lot of this.
Can it be both?
But
Can it be both?
It can be.
Can it be both? That's all I'm saying. Can it be
both? A lot
both?
of this is on a play caller. Like we got to give play callers a little more.
Play callers. This was Darrell Bevel. This was Shoddy. It was.
What was wrong with it?
All of the. Play
when we were there, offensive line was great.
Well, at the
You know
beginning.
how hard it is to block for Russell Wilson.
Oh, there it goes. Let's see. How many minutes in?
Can't make it through an entire segment
14 minutes in, and there it goes.
I'm just saying. You know how hard it is to block for him. He is unconventional, which is fine. It's nothing bad.
I mean, he sort of seemed to help the offensive line with his ability to run and with his ability to escape. You don't think those things help the offensive line?
Well, I'll do devil's advocate here just because this is fun. I like this. If an offensive lineman's expecting you to step up in a pocket,
right,
and you don't, and you wheel out, and the guard or the tackle on the edge, that's not
his ability to run read
it's
option
make you
must
look
have
bad.
helped, right? I mean, he's taking care of maybe the backside defensive end or whatever. Like he's given you an opportunity where you don't have to block that player. That's got to help, right?
Oh. Yeah, but that's just in the scheme anyway. I mean,
what was okay? Let's get to that. Okay, now,
it's
you
not
know
in
what?
the scheme of Geno's there.
Hold on, you filled in for me. Salk was in
grub,
love.
or was it grub?
Salk was in love with those 3 hours when I was out.
It was
you filled
fun.
in. Brian, he calls us some of the greatest.
He's great.
We were laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
He's a Cornell guy. Salk. Cornell guys are gonna, mix it up a little bit.
I'm gonna make a huge mistake. By the way, did I tell you this? I invited Brian to go play golf a week from Friday. This is a terrible. I don't know why I do this to myself and try to go play with like an ex-athlete. This is only going to be embarrassing for me. So I have a plan to try to mitigate it because I know he's going to be like, "Oh, let's play the Blacks." I'm like, no, I can't play from the Blacks. Are you kidding me? I don't have that kind of club in my bag. So here's what I'm doing. I invite him to come down to the home course with me. My spot. Love it down there.
Your course.
And
it's a great course.
He doesn't know it, but I've invited Shane Pranty, the pro, to come play with us also. This is the guy who I told you shot a 64 the last time I was out with him, like 8 birdies, no bogey, 17 greens in regulation. And so I want to make sure that someone is better than Brian so that I don't look ridiculous. Because I have a sense this is going to be like playing with your wide receiver, Dane Looker, where you're just like, I don't even know why I'm out here. This guy's just good at everything.
Yep. I could see that.
That'll be fun. I'll tell you this. I will make bogeys. I will make
thank God.
Quite a few bogeys.
Will you make doubles?
So. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2.
All right. Then.
You never know.
Brian, look, can we just get to the juice of this? I mean, it's been 15 minutes or so. It's been wonderful conversation. What was the receiver room like in 12, 13, and 14 in Seattle? What was that
just went
receiver
right to
room
it.
like? Yeah.
Here's what I will tell you about that wide receiver room. It was, to this day, still some of my closest friends. Everything, all the, I don't know if I want to call it drama.
It was drama. Oh, there was.
It was drama.
Yeah.
All
there
the,
was Salk and I were there when Percy Harvin came out of the building. Yeah, we were the only ones who
you
saw
guys all know about that?
Yeah, we were there.
No, we were there when Doug
there was
came
a few of those instances.
No, it was Percy that came out.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
they were
room
trying to
and
calm him down.
Percy went, and Percy had to go home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were privy to some of that, and
then I think he was traded like 2 weeks later. I think Percy was traded 2 weeks after that, and then I mean, I guess a little knock on Percy, but then the receiver room was great, tight knit group. Like all those guys, like Doug, Jermaine, Golden, Sid. I'm trying to think who else. Why am I missing? I mean, we just had the Super Bowl reunion last year. Phil. Oh man, all those guys.
Did any of them like Russell? Did any of them like Russ?
Here's something, Brock, that and this is kind of the situation as a receiver that we didn't like from Russ. Okay, how about this?
Yes.
You're running routes on air, Brock, right? You're throwing routes on air as a quarterback.
Yep.
That ball, you have no defense, you have no pressure. You should throw a pretty good ball, right? Right to your chest, make it nice, right? Like if you throw that ball in the dirt a little bit, the receiver's got to go down and get it.
Right.
Okay? Like, drop down, hit the dirt. What would you say as a quarterback to that receiver?
Well, I'm coaching right now, Brian. So the typical term is "my bad," which I hate. We don't say that in negative thought. Instead, we say, "I got you next time. I got you next time. Yep, I got you next time."
Yeah.
But you never, perfect. Yeah, you never put it on the receiver. Ever.
Okay. All right. But what if you heard a quarterback say something like, "Could be like that in a game now. Could be like that in a game." What would you say to that?
Yeah, I'd coach that out of them. We're coaching that out of them.
So, like, that's the stuff that didn't really fly for some of the guys. Little things like that.
Let me ask you, we're talking to Bryan Walters, former Seahawks receiver who was in that, with the Super Bowl teams, et cetera.
So good.
Understanding all of that. Agreeing with all of the frustration, totally understanding all of that. Even with all of that said, do you think you guys were also too hard on him? Could both things be true?
Yes and no. Yes. Were we too hard on him? No. Look where he's at. He's doing great. I don't feel bad. He is doing fine. He's loving life. He is happy. He's playing the game he loves. He's made a lot of money. No, I don't think we were too hard on him.
Okay.
I think we were trying to make him understand that a lot of this team was based on our defense and our run game, maybe.
Right.
So
when
easy.
did you become can't both be true guy? When
Me?
did this? Yeah, when did can't both be true guy?
Why not?
Does Brian bring this out in you? Can't both be true guy? Salk?
No, I just
No.
it's happened to come up twice. Just a coincidence. I don't know why that is.
No, all joking aside,
You
like
were a little too
Russ,
hard on him. I think you were. I think you guys were a little too hard on him. I do.
Like us with Lyle.
I'm not
Probably
saying
a
you were
little too hard.
wrong. I think there was probably a
He's
lot
a
that you guys
quarterback.
were right
He's a
at.
quarterback.
That's right.
He's a quarterback. They have to take a
I
lot.
said this
like
to
they're-
Doug.
they're
Like I had a whole thing. Remember, I talked about this where I apologized to Doug for being what I think was too hard on Doug for being what I thought was too hard on Russ. And I think over the years, when we learned kind of a little bit more about who Russ was, it made me look at the whole Doug Baldwin thing differently. And I apologized to him. We had a nice conversation about it at one of KJ's events. But I also still think that it wasn't made public, but I think it was made public enough that I think it probably did more harm than good, even though you guys might have been right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think, but it wasn't public really during the Super Bowl years. I don't think.
No, it wasn't until the next
I don't
couple
think
of
people
years.
really.
But maybe that's
next couple of years, and so what's the common denominator there? I left. I was gone. I was in Jacksonville.
You were the glue. man.
You know,
you were
like,
the glue guy.
if John Snyder were hearing this right now, come on, John. I should have kept around in Seattle for a little bit longer.
Hey, are you buying these Mariners?
I'm loving the Mariners right now. It's so
What
fun.
are you loving about it?
I'm loving the fact that I don't feel like they're going to strike out every time up. I feel like that was the thought I had last season. You know, every time up, you just thought they were striking out 16 times a game.
Yep.
And I don't have that feel. I have the feel where, man, at any point there can be a home run. They're hitting the ball to the ballpark. I love the fact some of these young guys are coming up and just kind of like filling a role. They're beat up right now, like crazy. The pitching staff. So I'm just excited to see what happens when they're healthy. I mean, I think that's the big thing, and they're hanging on right now. Again, last year, I think at this point, I was saying the same thing. Man, we're 10 games up or whatever it was. So I'm trying not to get too high on it, but I think it's different. I think it feels a lot different. I think last year felt a little fluky, if that makes any sense. This year doesn't. This makes me feel like they're playing some good ball.
Pretty cool. This is fun. Thanks, man. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for doing it on
Thanks for having me.
video. For those who want to watch on video, you can see Brian in his beautiful home, well cleaned by an expert team of people that come in every month to take the house apart and put it all back together.
Playing? When are you playing?
I think we're playing a week from this Friday.
Week
So
from
next
tomorrow.
Friday.
Okay, great. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see that Salk swing.
Yeah.
I have a lot of visions in my mind, so I don't know which one's going to come true.
Let's
Brian, if Brady Henderson is listening right now, you
Yeah.
should be excited because golfing with Salk it's something.
Is it?
It is. Yeah.
Do you have a
it's
temper,
cool.
Salk?
Not as much as I used to. No. I used to have much bigger temper, but I don't mind.
Like a club throw?
No, not a
Or
club
slam?
throw. No, nothing like that. I'll yell at myself after a bad shot, but I think that's just normal. Yeah, I don't play strict rules or anything.
Yeah,
like there might be a
yeah.
mulligan or three throughout the round. Like,
That's fine. That's fine. What are we playing for?
Enjoy the day.
Yeah.
breakfast
Enjoy the
ball.
journey.
I don't warm up
It's
anymore.
going to be nice weather, I hope.
Should be great.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thank
That's
you.
the other question.
Yeah.
Yep. I know you got to
No.
go. Never mind.
No,
Are you?
no,
If it rains, are we canceling, or are you
Yes.
a rain or shine
No,
guy?
we'll cancel, obviously.
Okay. All right. Cool. There we go. Perfect.
Go. Bryan Walters, new friend of the show. Love this guy. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining us, Brock. I told you you'd enjoy Brian.
Enjoy the journey.
He's fun,
Enjoy
right?
The journey. He is fun. He is fun, and you just can't help but chuckle, right? It's and in time, more stories come out. You hear a little bit more of that background. But man, did Pete have a colorful locker room?
Yep.
Holy smokes, did he enjoy that friction in there?
I really
was
think I am a little bit
friction.
right about that, though. Like, I think they're right. Like, I get it now in a way that I don't think I understood then.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's an accident that stuff was quiet during the Super Bowl runs and then became public, and then they weren't as good.
That's right.
I think that there could be a little causality there.
Yeah, it was kind of fun and colorful, 12, 13, 14, but then it did get, to Colin Cowherd, noisy.
It got personal.
It got personal. It got too noisy.
Yeah.
And that unfortunately didn't help as Russell's kind of stardom grew, his brand grew, his money grew, his bank account, all ego grew, all of it.
It became untenable.
Yeah, but then he wanted Pete and John fired.
That's exactly
were
right.
they too hard on him,
That was
or did
later,
he need to
though.
be checked?
I think that was later. Now you're talking like 5 years after when.
I don't feel that bad for Russ.
Yep.
I didn't say I felt bad for him. I just said that maybe both things could be true. That Russ deserved it, and also they could have kept it quiet.
You're a little too hard on the Beaver.
You think
As, Ward, said.
Well, things got out in Denver and Pittsburgh too, so maybe it's just his fault.
More of the Soundhound found us a pretty great
Lyle
piece of
subtweeted
sound
me
here.
too. Is Lyle also subtweeting me?
Yeah, we
Can
got
get
time
to
for that. Yes, 9:30. We'll do that at 9:30.
Okay.
Or you want to, whatever. We got Lyle subtweeting Brock, and we've got more of the Soundhound doing her job. We'll get to both of those things in the next hour. It's Brock and Salk.
Thank you.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing time.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims like Sean, who was rear-ended in a car accident.
They're just easy to work with. They're fast. I like the fact that he had military service. I can see a lot of Marine in Rob. He's very in charge, really gets things done. But I didn't have to do anything. He offered me a settlement, had a number in my head, was nearly double that. I would refer absolutely anybody to Rob.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Eddie's!
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. The ice may have melted, but spring is the perfect time for a new roof. Call Techline Roofing. Take advantage of our easy financing and our spring special. That's TEKLINE roofing.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even like our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here. I see people start out as a lot porter, and people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
It's Clean Car Month. Right now, get the Pro X1 Car Care Collection Wash Kit for just $19.99, exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop.
No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. I mean, mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
So yeah, Lyle did. He did take some shots last night, Brock, and I was surprised.
Is this because G comes in the backup studio all the time? The master class of subtweeter? Like
He
number
is-
one in like a 3-time All-American subtweeter.
He's one
like
of the
almost every tweet.
best in
It's
the
like
world.
it's like Bryan Walters just said about watching the Mariners the last
Right.
few years. You felt like every at bat was going to be a strikeout.
Yeah.
Every tweet that G sends, every tweet, I'm like, oh,
But
I
he
wonder
goes
what the
so deep
subtweet
with
is
the
here.
subtweeting where like he'll be smug about it, and I'm like, yeah, but no one knows what that means.
No kidding.
They know it means something.
G manages to subtweet even just talking to people, where he's like saying things, and you're like, I know you're in some way challenging me on something, but I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, yesterday, Brock, you got fooled by what's the
did. I
name
got
of the account?
Centelled.
NBA Centel.
NBA.
And you brought it up for trash tape.
Lyle's already smiling so big. It made him so happy.
One of the lowest moments of my broadcast.
Really? I mean, it should feel pretty normal. You get fooled by fake news all the time. So I'm not that surprised that this happened. But in any event, so Brock went with this take from NBA Centel that the WNBA was going to ban booing at their games, which is funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, fine. So we joked around. We had a good time with it. Thankfully, Lyle jumped in and was like, that's NBA Centel. It's a whole thing. He gave us the whole thing.
Too. It was great.
So last night, as I was brushing my teeth, I was scrolling the phone with my other hand and was like, Lyle Goldstein writes this. Tired. Brock Heward, UW royalty and Fox Sports college football analyst. Wired. Brock Heward, guy who got Centelled on live sports radio. This is, for me, the funniest thing that's happened since I've been on the show. I'm still laughing about it. No, okay, fine. Like, hey, I'm all for the ribbing, and Brock deserves it. He walked into it. If I had done it, I'd be taking the same grief.
With a video clip, right?
There's a video clip of it,
What?
yes. Yep, there's a video clip
He
of...
tweeted what?
He tweeted the video of you getting Centelled, and then even replied to his own tweet and said, I may know absolutely nothing about Pearl Jam Frasier or about a million other cultural references, but it's moments like this where I shine. In any event.
Wow.
I was struck by the fact that you did not include Brock's tag. You named him by name,
I
but
was
didn't
wondering why I
write
didn't see
at
it.
Brock Heward.
I was wondering why I didn't see that.
Why is that?
Well, I feel like I didn't really subtweet. Again, I used his name. It wasn't.
All right, it's not
subtweeting.
quite subtweeting. You're right, but you didn't tag him. How come?
Well, scared.
Do you want me to stretch this out and make it into some whole whirlwind of a drama scene, or you want me to just say I forgot? And like,
what do you mean you forgot?
Like,
you didn't forget. You wrote his name.
Or didn't really think
I don't want to hear it. That's like something I get from one of my kids. Oh, I just forgot. No, you didn't.
Okay.
That's the worst excuse in the world.
Okay, fine. So I'll say
you chose not to.
I usually don't tag people all that often in tweets.
Why?
I don't know. Or maybe I should do it more.
That's the answer? I don't know. You just don't?
I feel like you guys are trying to make this deeper than it is. Like, you either tag somebody or you didn't. I can say I'll learn for next time.
I feel like when you're taking shots, you consider, like, do I want them to see this or do I not? Right. And that's when you when you typed out his name, you consider whether you're going to do the tag or just the name, don't you?
I guess. Sure. Like, let's go with this for the sake of it.
No, I don't want to hear let's go with it. That's something I would get from my kids when they're blowing me off. Like, I don't really want to talk about this anymore, so I'm going to pretend you're right and then just keep doing what I do. We just want an answer. No one's even ripping you for it. Like, I'm sure there's a good reason.
So I think even more than parenting, doesn't this come up more in marriage? On the day of my 26th wedding anniversary, isn't it when you're like, okay, fine, I'm sorry. And it's like, well, you're not really sorry. You're just saying you're sorry. Like, do you understand?
That would never happen in my family. I don't do anything to apologize for, and Heather's never apologized in all of our years of being together. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's not something that comes up much in my life.
All right. Next time I tweet about Brock, he will be tagged.
Oh, okay. So you think you made a mistake?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The 360 says the video makes it so much better. Also love that Brock had to put on his Ebenezer's to make sure.
Yes. So if we're on the subject now and have an extra minute or two.
We do, yeah.
Brock, at any point yesterday when you're reading the tweet, because if people want a little bit of behind the scenes, Maura asked Brock if he wanted any sound rolled in for trash takes, and Brock said, no, it's just a tweet I'm going to read today. Thank God he didn't say what it was, because it was so much better that we found out in real time.
So much better.
And I'm thinking to myself, no way he's actually about to read this. When I hear him say, this comes courtesy of NBA Centel, I'm like, is he really going through with this? Oh, he's going to go through with it, and he reads the whole thing.
Well, he didn't know. He's never heard of that.
Sure.
Here's my question. At any point while looking at the tweet and reading the tweet, did you not think to yourself, all right, this may be a little out of left field. A league's going to ban booing? Like, how do you even regulate that? You're going to kick 10,000 fans out of an arena?
Lyle, you don't know the WNBA. That's why that was not that far of a reach. In the unbelievable, horrendous leadership they've shown through the years, and especially with everything with Caitlin last year and all this with Angel. Like, no, that was not that far of a reach.
I actually kind of understand that from Brock. What I do think, though, is if you see something like that and you're not really familiar with the source, you probably want to at least just click on it so that you see that. I mean, it literally says parody account in the source.
Yeah. I mean, my family's been on full display over the last day or so on
God.
the show.
Best part of your time here on the show.
Well, let me just make it full circle, because you heard from my mom, you heard from my dad. I immediately get a message from my brother after Trash Takes ends yesterday. And Spencer says, actually, he sends me it on Twitter, because he works in the Air Force. He can't take his phone into the building. So he was on, that's like a rule, I guess.
But he's there working for the Air Force, listening to this and tweeting at you instead of like keeping our country safe.
Sure,
all right.
Yeah.
He sounds like a Goldstein.
So he's
probably fast asleep at his computer. He keeps nodding off while he's supposed to be protecting us.
You just insulted the whole family.
No, I was insulting Lyle. Really, that was all.
He sends me a message and says, Lyle, with about 10 dots, he's like, I'm listening to the show. Did Brock just get sentelled with like 10 laughing emojis? Yes. And then follows it up with, look, I know Brock's not online as much as the two of us are, but if you're on sports Twitter, how do you miss the generational run of NBA Centel?
Well, we're old. Give us a break. For God's sakes, you guys are so young and hip, and Brock we don't have any idea what you're talking about. Never heard of NBA Centel until yesterday. All right, we'll come back with everything you need to know. I do want to talk Julio a little bit, Brock, because I think we're seeing something cool, and a whole bunch more as well. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
I like this question. What team is making you an even bigger hater? You're getting even better at being a hater.
And they make it easy.
Yeah.
The Dane Cowboys.
Yeah.
They got 6 primetime games.
Mm-hmm.
6 primetime games.
Of course they did.
And they're going to be a barely over 500 team. But here's the thing. The Cowboys are going to be on primetime, and everybody's going to watch.
Four Down Territory every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Dave Wyman joined by the mayor of the city of Lacey, Andy Ryder. Andy recently underwent successful treatment for prostate cancer. His treatment method? Swedish cyberknife. Andy, what would you say to anyone considering prostate cancer treatment?
I'm feeling very confident about my treatment with CyberKnife. I absolutely recommend it for anyone who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Reach out to Swedish Cyberknife directly at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Synthetic Turf Northwest is now open in Fife, the South Sound headquarters for premium synthetic turf. They help homeowners with a turnkey solution, DIYers, and contractors and landscapers needing quality products. With premium turf in stock, expert advice, and pro installation services, everything you need is under one roof. Visit their new showroom off I-5 in Fife. Synthetic Turf Northwest. Supplies and installation expertise all in one place. Mention radio for up to $1,000 off. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
Business leaders know to solve a problem, you gotta look at it in a new way. Like travel between Seattle and Portland. Why is it such a pain? I-5 traffic, TSA slowdowns, SeaTac hassles. Seaport removes those pain points. We fly out of Boeing Field and a private terminal at PDX. You park for free, steps away from your plane. And with flights every 45 minutes, you're always home for dinner. Problem solved. Seaport Airlines. It's about time.
G. Scott here with former Seahawks Cliff Averill and Doug Baldwin. I heard you guys are having a celebrity pickleball tournament to raise money for Nourishing Champions. Why pickleball?
Obviously, it's a growing sport, but also this model is that we will actually be playing with community.
We are the most competitive people, so regardless of how sorry Doug might be, he will be out there competing like it's a Super Bowl.
Sign up for the Celebrity Pickleball Tournament, open to all skill levels. For details, go to championsofchangefoundation.org/pickleball.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Want to get rid of clutter and reclaim your space? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling for the greater Seattle area. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We prioritize donating and recycling, so we'll look for opportunities to do just that instead of going to the landfill. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
My teacher is the best because she gives us pajama day.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, sponsored by WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Hey folks, John Curley here. One of the best home comfort inventions of recent time, mini split systems. Now you can enjoy efficient heating and cooling while saving energy and reducing utility bills with personalized room comfort. Call my friends at Home Comfort Alliance for a free consultation, and for a limited time, get 18 months same as cash financing on all qualified systems. For all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Warmer weather, more sunlight, and your new car. That's right. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, summer starts here. With their combined inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned inventory, you're in for a summer to remember. Their fantastic teams will set you up with a test drive so you can ride off into that summer sun the same day. Summer starts here at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit their incredible showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, Brock, the Mariners win again yesterday. They win yet another series. You guys know about that by now, and we've been talking about it throughout the morning, and really it happened kind of during the day yesterday. But it's nice to see them just cranking home runs, right? Julio had one early, obviously the big one from Taveras late, but don't sleep on the fact that Cal had yet another.
3-2. Swung on, crushed, left field. It's back, it's deep, it's on its way, and it is gone. Goodbye, Cal Raleigh. Into the White Sox bullpen. He has smashed another.
Goodbye, Cal Raleigh. Where's he going?
So, Salky, if you had to do your most intriguing list over again now, no, and I'm not. I don't bring that up to slide it.
Yes, you do.
Salk, we're friends. I did not.
Yes, you did.
Just like Lyle, I didn't mean to not add you. I'm sorry. I didn't think about it. If you had to do your most intriguing list now,
yeah,
how much? Isn't it remarkable how different it would be?
Yes.
The Vargases and the roles they've played,
yeah.
the Legumina, obviously what Cal's doing on pace to hit 55 bombs now. Like Ben Williams, isn't it just remarkable?
There's almost nothing about this team that has gone as expected. It's really remarkable, right? How many things on this team have gone as expected? Brian Wu stepping up was one thing that I think Lyle certainly did. He talked a lot about it, but that's not a huge shock. Him taking another step forward was not that surprising. Tell me one other thing on this team that has not been surprising that's happened this year. I don't think I have anything. I mean, like...
Andres Munoz is good again?
Yeah, all right. That one. But he was good last year. I mean, like, he's just good again. Yep. It really has been pretty incredible how shocking they've been in almost every single way. Not shocking after the news came out yesterday. George Kirby has officially been activated for tonight. Also not shocking, Troy Taylor was sent back down after not being particularly effective. He's been disappointing this year in each of his stints coming back up. Maybe that's another surprise. That's a guy that I think most of us thought was going to end up as a leverage reliever for them. Instead, it's really been, as you mentioned, Vargas and Legumina and some other guys that have taken over the role we thought would be Troy Taylor's. So they are in Houston, Brock. I don't know whether you saw this tweet from Tim Booth. It says, "Good morning from Houston, where it's approximately 127 degrees with 99% humidity, and the roof at the park formerly known as Minute Maid is now open before the 4-game set tonight." Props to you if you can tell me the new name of Minute Maid Park.
Oh, I should know this. I just looked at it a month ago when I was there for the UFL.
I had to look up the company because I'd never heard of it before.
What is it?
Daikon.
Oh, yeah, Daikon.
Daikon? No, is it Daikon?
How do you spell it?
I think it's D-A-I-K-I-N.
Yeah, I think it's Daikon.
With an I at the end?
D-A-I-K-O-N?
I think it's K-I-N.
Oh, K-I-N?
I don't have to look it up. But regardless, it's like an air conditioning company, which it sounds like they could use today with 127 degrees in Houston.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
It'll be probably about that hot and about that humid in Green Bay when the Seahawks go there before their third preseason game in August, and we'll do joint practices with the Green Bay Packers. Is that a good, like we've sort of complained that it's not going to be here and not going to be with the Chiefs, but are the Packers a good fit for them to do that with?
I think so,
Why?
For sure. Yeah, just kind of the way that they stretch you, just defensively with a bunch of their different groupings, and they're running their pass, and Jordan Love, and timing and precision, and they've been together for a while, and then they're pretty aggressive defensively, play a lot of man-to-man coverage. So I think just schematically it'll be a great fit. And then you're going to have just a tremendous amount of juice. I mean, their fans for training camp are phenomenal. I mean, it will be, the sense of urgency is the final week, too, is guys are trying to solidify their spots and their jobs and fighting for roster spots. Like, that'll all be really cool. Not nearly as cool as if the Chiefs were actually doing it here, but not a bad second place.
All right. No hard knocks for the Seahawks, Brock. The league and HBO making the shocking decision to go with the NFC East for their in-season. I mean, I just am blown away by this. Of all the divisions, I mean, like, that's the one no one cares about, no one's ever interested in.
I mean, the little guy finally getting some love.
Right? Isn't that nice for the blue-blooded NFC East to finally get a little bit of press? A big shock there. And then the tush push was officially saved, at least for now. How about, did you read the Jeffrey Lurie stuff?
Fired up.
Dude, not just fired up, but come on. You can't say that in a meeting. Did you read what he said?
No.
Oh, you should go back and read it.
Ooh, I don't know if I want. Do I?
It's a bizarre sexual reference to make in a. I mean, I won't repeat it. You guys can look it up. It's pretty easy to find, but it's a bizarre sexual reference to make at a league meeting.
With stuff like that,
okay, sorry. I don't want to pollute your mind either.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Your poor mind, Brock. It's easily polluted. Easily
Any more
polluted.
chapters in our Kama Sutra book?
Her what?
Our book.
What is the book called?
Did I say it wrong? Kama Sutra.
Kama Sutra.
Sorry.
It's also Dakin. Daikin. They're a huge HVAC company, I guess. Although somebody is saying it's Daikin, but other people are saying Dakin. But nobody's saying daikon. It's not like the radish.
No, definitely not.
It's definitely not like the radish. I don't know. That's it. That's everything you need to know. I could tell you again about the Kraken, their hunt for a coach, but it's not going well, so that's all you need to know.
Wow, huh?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like anybody wants to coach here.
So hockey coaches are fired more frequently than anybody else,
Right.
but yet they're hired more slowly than
Well,
anybody else, too?
I think what it looks like from the outside, I'm obviously not inside this, but what it looks like from the outside is that they went big game hunting and talked to some guys who have had a lot of head coaching experience. And then when that didn't work, they're now looking at the next level of assistants that are out there that maybe you can bring in.
Gotcha.
I think that's kind of how it feels, right? We were talking about Mike Sullivan and talking about Rick Tocchet and David Carl from Denver. Who else was on that list? We talked about, a bunch of guys. Was Rod Brindamore one of those names? I don't know. We talked to like a bunch of the guys that were, kind of big name coaches in the NHL. And it sounds like none of them were that interested. And now we're talking about Lane Lampert and Mitch Love and David Quinn. And it's just, unfortunately, kind of a different level. So doesn't mean those guys won't be great. Just maybe tells you a little bit about where you're at right now. Okay.
We got some sound. I do like that sound.
I know. I want to get to the sound. I want to
But
get.
I am kind of curious where you want to go with Julio.
I do have some Julio stuff I want to talk about. I've got some sound. Wrote a piece last night that I want to mention as well. And I know you've got a confession. So.
Well, I asked Haley if I could share it. And she said no.
Oh, really? You can't?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I told
too bad.
Haley to go to her room. Yeah. And she was like, to my room? Yeah. Because she was being such a pill yesterday about something. And I was like, just go to your room.
What?
Yeah, I know. She told me not to share it, so I'm not going to share it.
But you just did.
But I just did.
But you just did.
I just did.
Did she go to her room?
No.
Of
she
course
looked at me,
not. She's
and so did
about to
Molly.
get married.
Yes. Her and Molly both looked at me like, to her room? I'm like,
were you joking?
Borderline.
Just wanted to see if it would still work.
Yes. This is not going well. This is not going to get anywhere. You're emotional. She's emotional. This isn't. Just go to your room.
No.
I'm 22. I'm not going to my room.
Well, I'm glad she at least said that and didn't listen to you. My God. All right. Well, so we can cross that off the list of things we've got to get to in the last half hour of the show. Brock won't share the story, unfortunately. We'll be right back. It's Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports on 710 and 97.3 HD2.
Bump and Stacy.
After completing lucrative contract extensions with Brock Purdy and George Kittle, the 49ers and Fred Warner agreed to a 3-year, $63 million contract.
You should always be worried about the 49ers, man. As long as Shanahan is over there, be worried. As long as John Lynch is the manager over there, be worried. You got to stay healthy. Things have to go your way, but yeah, be worried.
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Mike Salk here for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. As we're starting to get a little bit closer to summer, now is a good time to start thinking about how you want to look once you're doing all those cool summer things here in Western Washington, right? Beach, barbecues, golfing, vacation, all the things you look forward to in the summer. Well, you want your pictures to look good. You want to look good. You want to feel your best. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic can help. And trust me, it works real fast. I lost 15 pounds in just the first 2 weeks. I lost 35 pounds in just 8 weeks. So there's time now. Don't wait. Schedule a 15-minute no-obligation consult right now at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. You'll get safe, healthy, sustainable weight loss, no exercise, no pills, no injections, no surgery, no fake food. It's all real food that you buy at the grocery store, and it tastes good, and you will be full, but you will lose weight. The secret? Well, you got to call them, find out. It only takes 15 minutes, so schedule that quick intro right now at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on CAT compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Jet City Harley is accepting all credit applications. Bank reps on speed dial to help get you approved. Bankruptcy, divorce, even repos. Let Jet City Harley Davidson get you financed on a new Harley today. Visit jetcityharley.com.
On approved credit.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Classic Collector Car Truck and Boat Auction, Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Hundreds of cars, vintage, muscle, exotic, classics, trucks, boats, and more. Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Millions of dollars in inventory, many must sell with no reserve whatsoever. Get lucky, get local, and get in line for the Northwest's greatest collector car auction. Auction details at luckyoldcar.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Rhine Air is a simple, non-invasive procedure that significantly reduces your postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're proud this year the Stern Sinus Center was just named a nationwide center of excellence. We're also excited to welcome another allergy surgeon and ear surgeon to our practice. Schedule your appointment in Auburn or Federal Way or go to sternsinus.com.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $2,500 off an energy-efficient Bryan cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Did I tell you guys the end of the Florida story from the other day? So weird. We were playing this song, Brock, on Friday, and I was kind of whistling along to it, and we were talking about Florida, how he was coming to do a show here at some point. I was asking Maura if she wanted to go, like we did with Luda. And she's like, I don't know, Florida. And then other people were saying that he's awesome in concert. And then it turns out that not everyone knew that Florida was Florida, right? Just with a space in the middle of it. And we got a bunch of people texted in that were like, oh, no, like I just found that out just now. Yeah. Like you saying it. Right. Like I was today years old. So the guy who texted in, I ran into on the golf course later in the day.
What?
Remarkable, right? He was up at TPC Snohomish, and I ended up running into him later in the day. So, small world.
Is that Crack and Ice complex they put on concerts, too?
They should. They should. I was up there on Tuesday, Brock. Met some nice people.
Of course.
Always, just hanging out.
All right, let's go. You want to go Arroyo or Julio? Who do you want to go?
You know what? I think we've done a lot of football, so let's come back to some baseball. The Mariners, after all, have just won yet another series. 11 out of their last 13 series. They're rolling. I wrote about them last night and kind of put together at seattlesports.com some thoughts on their resilience and also just how relentless they are. And just sometimes when you're writing, it's helpful to look up the definition of the word that you're writing about, or just to see like the actual definition and see how well it fits. And so I did. I looked up relentless, and the definition is
without relent.
It was not that, thankfully.
That's Latin.
Oppressively constant, incessant. And I was thinking, if you were playing against the Mariners, don't you think that's how it feels?
Yep.
Oppressively constant and incessant. And I think I was using some similar terminology to describe Scotty Scheffler and the way he just keeps coming at you in the PGA Championship. I feel like, the Mariners are not at Scotty Scheffler's level, certainly not right now. That's a lot what he's accomplished. Mm-hmm. But I do think that stylistically there has been this element of they just keep coming at you. They are incessant, and 1 through 9 in the order. You heard Bryan Walters say earlier, like, I just don't get the sense they're going to strike out. I don't get the sense they're going to get an out. Even the games that look like they're getting away from them, they're still kind of chipping away and finding a way back into it, and they've been blown out a couple of times this year, but even in the blowouts, it feels like they're on the verge of making their way back into it.
You know who they kind of feel like a little bit, and they're much better, especially the ceiling is incredibly higher. Remember that Royals team a couple years ago? And you're just like, gosh, when they made the playoffs, I believe. And you're like, I don't like playing against them.
Not the World Series teams, but a couple of years ago when they were randomly good for a year.
That's right. And they just kind of came up and popped up, and that was a little bit more lineup, you know, and then they were stealing bags. But think about it when you talk about incessant and just a pest. They're just a pest. Their starters, all of them are good. It's just annoying. And then you get to the bullpen, and it's just like, oh, I got Brash, and I got Mooney, and now I got this Vargas guy that's just freaking filthy and nasty, and they're just a pest. And then they get on the bases, and they're just a pest because most of the guys can steal a bag, or most can take an extra base, and then even the guys that aren't that good that have been bounced around, like, don't throw it inside to the Eclipse because he'll make you pay. Like they got a lot of.
I'm glad you like the
zones.
Eclipse so much.
I do like the Eclipse.
Yeah,
because he is like there's nothing, and then there's a strikeout, and there's nothing.
I got to
but
give
then
some
all of a sudden,
credit to
guess
an
what?
old friend of mine
Yesterday,
on that. Yeah.
Guess what? Yesterday in the 8th inning, guess who comes up and starts the inning, and Danny didn't pinch hit for him earlier because he stuck around, and Goldie made that point, and there he is in the 8th, and he just slashes one the other way. The other screws up.
How about the guy who's immediately stuck in there for defensive purposes? Immediately makes a non-error on the first ball that comes to him.
That's right. So they're just incessant pests in kind of every phase of it. Pitching, they even make good defensive plays. Little Leo Rivas and JP can make plays, and Julio runs down everything. They're just a pest to play.
Yeah, and I would say that the relentlessness fits on style too. Like their pitching staff relentlessly pumps fastballs in there. Just one after another, different angles, different movement, and then obviously they've got the breaking stuff to complement it. And when you get to the end of the game and it's Brash and Munoz, and there's a lot of similarity between those guys, what they do stuff-wise, there is a relentless element to it. And then, yes, the defense, obviously, the last part would be the aggressiveness on the base paths and the offense, where they just the biggest difference to me, you can call it strikeouts, you can call it whatever you want. They're not giving away as many at-bats.
They're just a threat.
So maybe that's swinging at pitches, not swinging as many pitches outside the zone, popping up early in the count, rolling over early in the count.
Second in the league. They were a couple games ago. I know when Aaron and Root put up the number there of most pitches seen per bat, right? Like
they're grinding through.
Yes. Yep. They're also going to, Julio's going to swing at a lot of first pitches, and they will be aggressive when it's right. But by and large, as a group, as a collective, that's also a pain. Remember playing those freaking Yankees and Red Sox teams, and they see so many pitches, and they just grind every at bat. And those games used to last 4.5 hours, and it was just painful to play against them.
What's funny though is like people keep saying, they're going like pre-sabermetrics and small ball, like all of those things are the sabermetric revolution. I think it's what's so interesting about this, and why, you get someone like Aaron tweeting about the big things versus the little things. And there's a little something for everyone with this team and the way they've done it. Like those things you're saying, that's sabermetrics. That's always been part of what the Mariners were trying to do. They just weren't able to succeed in doing it as often as they have this year, right? That's not bunting and giving away outs and some of the other things that are sort of characterized as small ball. That's big ball. Those are the big things. That's taking your walks and then hitting your home runs. They've scored 11 runs in the Chicago series. 10 of them came via the long ball. Like it's funny that it's led to doing some of the things that they were always trying to do, and you end up kind of getting there roundabout way.
You can tell me if this feels like a little bit of a reach, and maybe it's got a path a step too far. But does it feel a little bit that maybe Dan and Seitzer and just some of the new voices have just allowed them more freedom, so there's more ways to win? And that fine line between majoring in something, right, and versus minoring in everything, right? Something that I probably hang my hat more on. Hey, man, this is your identity. Be who you are. Be control the zone in every single way. And this is what we do, and this is how we do it. Versus, that's fine to have that, but it's not realistic in today's game. And we got to have the freedom to, if this matchup takes this and that matchup takes that, like we're going to, just have to be free to play in those kind of different ways.
Maybe.
Is that a reach?
I don't know. You've heard certainly people say that, so I don't know if it's a reach or not. Look, everything comes with costs and benefits, right? Everything comes with, trade-offs, right? I think one thing we're seeing now is this 162 battles. You're seeing some of the real positive effects of it in April and May. You're seeing a team, and I think there's a lot of value to be had in. I was going to spend a little more time on this tomorrow, but you're getting some of the value in going after every game like it's the most meaningful thing in the world. You also have Cal Raleigh, who's played in every game this year,
right?
And no catcher's ever played in 162. He's played in every game so far this year, not all of them as a catcher. And we got a text earlier that said, hey, Salk, when we were talking to Harold Reynolds, you mentioned those guys like Buster Posey and Joe Mauer, et cetera. Go take a look at their September numbers. It's awful. Like, it wears down. And running the bases hard, being aggressive, all of the things the Mariners have done exceptionally well this year take a toll on your body. Playing in a lot of games takes a toll on the body of a guy like Cal Raleigh. Like, all of those things take a toll. I'm not saying that they're going to run into problems in September, and maybe some of that toll is balanced out by some of the confidence that is instilled by winning a lot of these games early. I'm not telling you they're doing it wrong. It's just something that you watch out for, because in this game, when you play it like that every single night, it has some great benefits, and there are some potential trade-offs that come later on down the road.
I will say they do have the benefit of playing a lot of people. Say for Cal and Julio, that have basically been up the middle, and JP, right? Just about everybody else is like a deep bench in basketball. Like, if you're going to play that style, you're going to be that relentless. You can play that defense. You're going to press. You better go 8 or 9 or 10 deep on your bench. And
they've been forced to in a lot of ways.
Yes, through injury and otherwise. Yeah. Like, we've played a lot of people.
In some ways, maybe the injury is a blessing in disguise in that way, because rather than running down or wearing down someone like Robles, when he gets hurt, well, now you're going to put 3. Dylan Moore's going to play out there. Master Boney's going to play right. And Tavares going to play right. And Luke Raley, when he comes back, will end up playing. Like, no, I think that it's funny. Some of the negative things that have hit them,
they've turned to positives.
Have maybe turned into positives, right? There's a little bit of good luck that's come with some of the bad luck in there as well. I will also say, Brock, it's hard for me to imagine that the Mariners are ever going to be totally successful without Julio turning on the Jets at some point. And I don't know if that's what we're seeing now. It feels like maybe it's kind of coming. If you remember, Justin Hollander said this about a week or so ago.
I think Julio's in a really good place right now. Obviously, it was a little bit of a slow start over the first couple weeks in April. If you look at what he's done in May, the quality of contact, the amount of contact, I think his defense over the last month or so has been game-changing. I don't want to wing it off the top of my head. I think he's on pace for like a 6 wins above replacement season. That's kind of what superstars do. Again, I would love it if it were 8 or 10 or 12 or whatever. I don't know if that's super realistic for anybody, but he's off to a good start, and he's in a really good place right now. And I think we're seeing the beginnings of one of those streaks for Julio where it's otherworldly.
Right now, it's about a 5-win pace, so maybe it's down just a little bit. And that's looking at Baseball Reference. Maybe Fangraphs has it a little bit differently. 2 home runs in the last series, 3-run shot, a grand slam. I mean, drives in 7 just with those 2, but also some really nice. I saw a 9-pitch walk in there. There are some signs, I think, that Julio is starting to, get into one of those heaters where when he gets there, he just changes everything for you, right?
Yes. So I just sent you and Lyle and Mora. I took this yesterday, before the event. I was watching the game on my couch, and then every once in a while I like to kind of follow along, and we'll look at different sites and Fangraphs and Baseball Reference, and even what's the Centel site. I'll look at all sorts of different sites, and before each at bat on the ESPN app, they put that heat map, your batting averages in the different zones. And this is Julio's, and it still just kind of strikes me for everything he's doing this year, right? And the contribution that he is making, and the home runs now almost double digits. Just look at that heat map, and you're like, wow, there are a lot of areas that if you make your pitches, it's problematic. Like if you really get in on his hands and you get down and in and you get him to chase, that, to me, that will continue to be, to go from great to superstar, right? To go from really, really good to elite, to be an MVP candidate, to play to his ceilings. I just think some of those areas and this is just an athletic kind of competence thing, that when you have holes, your opponent is going to, at the professional level, expose them. You have a hole in your protection scheme, it's going to get exposed. You have a hole in your shooting range, it's going to get exposed. You have a hole in your
But everyone's got some kind of a hole, right? I mean, that's not that unusual. I guess what I'm looking at is the fact that Julio also at this point last year had 4 home runs.
Correct. He's got 9.
Right, he's got 9. Julio last year was striking out at a crazy, crazy rate. Julio this year, has lowered the strikeout rate. Julio last year, I always say you can deal with the strikeouts if you're walking and hitting home runs. Well, this year, Julio is walking a whole lot more than he was. Yeah, you're right. There's definitely a hole in this. I'm looking at the chart that you sent over, and there are some zones where Julio's not where you want to be.
Yep.
But
if you make a mistake,
he punishes it.
Yes.
And that's kind of baseball, isn't it? Especially for a guy.
It is, but the elite, I mean, think if I gave you Aaron Judges, you'd be like, okay.
Well, right now he's definitely not Aaron Judge.
If I gave you Freeman's, if I gave you, homeboy Witt, if I gave you a bunch of the guys that are, like I said, the true superstars.
But I think
right now he's top 25 player in baseball all around. Top 25
Yeah, I think if you include the defense in the running, yes.
Correct.
He's probably in that realm. He's probably not in the top 10.
His impact and influence, he is a top 25 player in baseball.
Yeah, and that's probably on the edge of that. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if you said top 40 or something like that, like 25 to 40. Does that sound right?
That's probably more reasonable.
But also, he still hasn't turned it on. Like, there's also this possibility that Julio goes off for a month, and then you're like, oh, yeah, no, that's top 10, 15 player in baseball, because when it's all said and done over the course of a full season, you take all of the numbers, not just what he's done through a period where he's yet to play in warm weather. He's yet to really kind of have some of the things that have caused him to go off in the past. And I do wonder, okay, what happens if Julio goes on a hot streak? Like some of what you were saying the other day of everyone kind of stepping up as a team, does it go away? Do they sit back and watch Julio have a hot streak?
Well,
my gut answer to that is no.
I don't think so.
It'd be just fine.
And you're going to win 2 of 3. You do what Harold Reynolds said. You're just going to win series and win series and win series and win series.
Because we've seen him just do it by himself. Right. And we saw it at the end of last year. We saw it for a couple of weeks in 23. We saw it for a while in 22. When he gets hot, he literally carries an entire team by himself because he does so many different things on a baseball field. Passan kind of addressed this.
Randy Arozarena's arrival. When we think of Randy Arozarena, right, we tend to think of the guy who had one of the best playoff runs we've ever seen. And that's not what he is right now. But what he is somebody who gets on base a lot. And when you have him getting on base, and when you have Raleigh getting on base, and when you have Jorge Polanco getting on base, and J.P. Crawford walking and getting on base, and even like Mitch Garver, Leo Rivas, Rowdy Tellez hitting home runs, everyone's doing something. And it just by the way, it's wild that I have not mentioned Julio Rodriguez yet, right? Yep. Because we thought, as goes Julio, so go the Mariners. Apparently not. Julio, yesterday, but generally speaking, Julio's just been solid this year, and that has been enough.
Hey, Lyle, can you do me a favor?
Okay.
Can you, because you're so fast on your computer to Fangraphs, where is Julio, WRC plus in baseball, and where is Cal Raleigh, WRC plus in all baseball?
I can give you their OPS plus. Julio's at 111, Cal's at 160.
So where it ranks in terms of WRC plus? Yeah, I was looking when you guys were talking a minute ago. Julio's WRC plus ranks 83rd, I believe. By WAR, he's 36th. And Cal's top 15. Or it's probably higher than that. Hang on.
Look at Cal Raleigh's WRC plus, and I'm doing this exercise because I'm wondering, Salk, if maybe it is getting to a point, and we'll get to a point where it's not as Julio goes, so go the Mariners. It is as Cal Raleigh goes, so go the Mariners.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah, Cal's 5. He's 5th.
Cal is 5th in all of baseball.
Here are the names ahead of him: Judge, Freeman, Ohtani, and actually Will Smith.
Yep.
Weird. It's weird that Will Smith is in there. I mean,
he's a really good offensive
I know
catcher.
he is. Yeah, no, he's excellent. It's a fair question. Maybe we will eventually say that. I don't know that I'm going to say that after a month and a half of 2 months of the season.
Correct.
But I think there's a very real conversation in there.
Positions now. Yep. I mean, both put a lot of wear and tear on that body.
Yep.
And what Julio's asked to do, and what he covers in center field, and what he does on the base pass, and no different. I mean, even more so with Cal getting beat up behind the plate and doing all that he does to command and control the game, both with his staff and those base pass. I do just wonder if over the course of the year, in years to come, we start to kind of make a little bit of that paradigm shift. That as Cal goes, so go the Mariners.
I mean, right now he's certainly been the best hitter on the team. I don't think there's any doubt about that. As Lyle just pointed out, he's been one of the best hitters in the league, period. he's the captain, right? Yep. Whether he's got the name or not, whether he's got the title or not, he's kind of in that role. I'm not sleeping on Julio yet and his value and his importance to the team. And maybe I'm holding on too long. If that's the case, so be it. But the talent in there is still so ridiculous that when he gets it going, it's amazing what he can do. We got just a couple minutes here at the end, but Maura had sent this over, and I thought, Brock, I wanted to get your take on it before your week is done. And this
my week is not done. I got Blue 88.
All right, you do a Blue 88, but before
I never stop thinking.
All right, but you won't be in here the whole day tomorrow. Cecily's going to come in and relieve you. She'll be in here tomorrow. Actually, we have a pretty good day.
Will be in. Stacy will be in.
Kevin Seitzer will be in. Actually, I don't know if we'll have Stacy, but we'll have Kevin Seitzer at 7:30. G's going to come by. My daughter, Cecily, has a ranking at 9 o'clock that she's excited about. And then obviously open phone lines later in the show. But Morris sent this over from Elijah Arroyo, the pick of the Seahawks, tight end pick. He was on Up and Adams with Kay Adams and was talking just about some of the way he'll be used this year.
Yeah, he's been telling me, he's going to challenge me. He wants to line me up everywhere. He wants me to be able to do everything. So he's just going to push me and challenge me mentally. I got to be ready for it.
All right, so lining him up all over, using him in some of those roles. I was thinking about what you said earlier, the question you asked Bryan Walters about, like, hey, can both these guys play on the outside in a 2 wide receiver set? Does Arroyo's athletic ability change some of that or make it easier?
Yeah, I don't know. On base downs and between the 20s, if you're looking at a guy that's going to be really, truly be split out there, it's hard. Bryan can say what he said, and I appreciate that immensely from a former NFL wide receiver, but there is a difference. There is a difference. You face the top corners when you're playing on the outside. You face a 12th man that is that sidelines, that these corners, and even high school corners, as we were playing defense last night in man-to-man coverage, know how to leverage and use their body and use that extra defender out there, right? You don't have a 3-way go that you do in the slot. You're not taking on safeties and linebackers, nickels. You're taking on the best. So you need like elite speed to turn those guys, to challenge those guys. If you don't threaten that you could run by them, the corners in this league, the premier guys, the starting guys on the outside, it's really, really difficult. Now, get inside the 20, get inside the 15, right, where that space is not as big a deal, where you can frame up, where your speed isn't as important as your body, and creating your own space. We're talking a different animal. But this can be a lot for this kid to learn now. That system at Miami, pretty simple. Pretty RPO.
This one's going to be a little harder for him.
There's going to be, I guarantee you that if my brain the other night with first day of high school install of about 45 plays and tempos and formations and calls and shifts, like his there's going to be a lot of details to learn in a great way to move him around.
If he works out, you're not going to have Noah Fant around, right? I mean, Brady had the piece here and Ward sent this over. I mean, he writes the Seahawks would save $9 million in cash by trading or cutting Fant, and almost that much in cap space.
Yeah, that would be. You don't make that. That would be an end of training camp, right? More than likely, because you got to see, Noah's entire offseason.
Right.
Noah can also be a very valuable weapon in this system of running the verticals, of running the crossing routes, of being a difference maker. And also, where maybe money has to be spent if you do trade, if you do pick somebody up, if there is. So, yeah, I think he would be in a very fluid situation, but I don't think there's any sort of guarantees of that.
All right, good stuff. Fun little conversation. We're just about done for the day. Kind of sad. A lot of good stuff today. That was fun.
Got to split this series in Houston, right?
Just find a way.
You split this series in Houston. What do? You go on the road and go 7-3?
Yeah.
On
That'd
a
be pretty
game in 10 days?
Yeah. Kind of exactly what you needed after going 1-5 at home, right? Just turn around and just get it right back on the road and reverse that thing. 4 in Houston and then home for a big homestand. I would hope that Mariner fans are starting to hey, I got to go see this team, right? Got to go see what they look like, and what the attendance has been. So, kind of an opportunity here.
I think there've been a lot of wait and sees.
Well, we're now coming up on Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
I feel like we've kind of seen this was what we said. Get to Memorial Day. Well, they've done that. All right. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Maura, again, congratulations. Happy 10-year anniversary here at Bonneville to the Sound Hound.
Thank you, Brock.
Yeah, that's right.
Bump and Stacy are coming up next with everybody's best friend, Ryan Roland Smith, who's going to be on with them later today. Well, almost everybody. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Until then, the Hey
Barn.
See everybody.
Get to the chopper! Bump and Stacy.
After completing lucrative contract extensions with Brock Purdy and George Kittle, the 49ers and Fred Warner agreed to a 3-year, $63 million contract.
You should always be worried about the 49ers, man. As long as Shanahan is over there, be worried. As long as John Lynch is the manager over there, be worried. You got to stay healthy. Things have to go your way, but yeah, be worried.
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All rooter and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Warmer weather, more sunlight, and your new car. That's right. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, summer starts here. With their combined inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned inventory, you're in for a summer to remember. Their fantastic teams will set you up with a test drive so you can ride off into that summer sun the same day. Summer starts here at Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit their incredible showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. The Mariners are back in action at T-Mobile Park, and you can be there for big moments all summer long with a Flex membership. Flex plans are perfect for fans who want the freedom to choose their games and seats as they go, while still enjoying all the perks of being a member, like saving 10% or more on tickets with no fees, unlocking access to exclusive pre-sales and year-round discounts, and so much more. Join the squad today at mariners.com/flex.
Cal Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
George Kirby has been reinstated from the 15-day injured list. He's expected to start tonight's game in Houston. The Mariners are 5-1 on their road trip so far. The first of 4 against the Astros tonight at 5:10 p.m. Pregame show starts at 4 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Halliburton's last-second jumper sent Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals into overtime. Pacers walked away with the win, 138-135. Game 2 is tomorrow night. Tonight, Game 2 of the Western Finals. T-Wolves